You could have heard this episode for 8 hours on our Patreon, patreon.com/indieheadspodcast. By joining us for as low as $1 a month, you will receive episodes early, gain access to our Discord server, and get yourself an Indie Heads podcast sticker. Mail episodes go up on our Patreon 4 hours before it hits our public podcast feeds. But if you're hearing this via our Patreon feed, we thank you so much for your support. We especially want to thank our Real Ones Patreon supporters, including Becca Etienne, Jordan Mikowski, History of Violet, Delaney Mothman, Josiah Duncan, Marcy Anime, Matt Cameron, Alex Gershmanoff, Bad Ass Billy, Gunn, Cal50, Chance Holdup, Charles, Chris Wade, Commander and Beef, Gavin Forney Freak, Grant, Griff, Ian, Insomni Black, Jake Wald, Jamie Elward, Jay, Jenna L, Keep Autism Weird, Maze Farms, Mark Barry, Matthew Taylor, Max Atala, Max Kapazinski, Nicole Rifkin, Rena K, Robert Mariano, Sarah Moore, Tay, Tim's Discount Prices, and Zach. And if you want to be amongst these names, consider upgrading to our Real One tier on Patreon, where you'll see a bonus episode every month on top of other perks. And before we move into this episode, I just want to thank the rest of our Patreon supporters like Jason Daphnis, Kevin Cookman, AJ Moser, Alec Felder, Alexis Davin, Ali Eleanor, Barry March, Shadows, Cody Gagan, Derek Pemberton, Eleanor Grahams, Race Red Baby, Eric Chow, Finitrice, Gavlin, Gayars420, Holiday Kirk, Jack Tiggleman, Jacqueline Kataga, Jane Amjadi, James Boss, Jeremy Bowl, Josh, Lily, Matthew Herring, Matthew McPherson, Midwest Maxwell, Molly O'Brien, Nate O, Rainey Donaldson, Sandy Nemo, Sarah L, Bingo LaFleur, Will Griffin, and Wilfer Thrill. Anyways, though, enjoy the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Lonely Island Discog Breakdown. I am one of your two co-hosts, Matty Monroe, and of course, I am joined once again on this Discog Breakdown series by my other co-hosts. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello. My name is Jackie. I didn't come up with a good pun to like. I was thinking about coming up with some sort of. We're gonna quote so many lyrics from every song on this album
Yes.
that I didn't want to do that at the top. But hi. I mean, it's been a long time on this podcast that we have been waiting to talk about some real fucking music. You know,
Yes.
like we did Pitchfork. Yeah, I know. We did Death Grips. We did Butt Rock. We've done all kinds of stuff, but we've never done real deal music criticism about important stuff, and that's why we're doing all of the Lonely Island albums, baby.
Yes. So Jackie and I will be covering the albums over the course of the next few months. We're not going to go blitz style on this like we did with the Death Grips Discog Breakdown. One, because we listeners, we literally, there's so many things on our schedule right now. Like, we have the schedule figured out from like right now until this point next year, like a year plus in advance. And it's not even counting stuff that like we haven't put to paper just yet, but like is pretty much a guarantee that's going to happen as soon as we just like have a meeting and figure out, hey, what's this going to look like? So we have so much shit figured out. So we're going to be splitting up these episodes over the course of a couple of months. Of course, we have this one, and then we'll have the next one towards the end of this year. And then once the 50s number ones wraps up, I believe in like February, we'll be back to do more episodes once a month as we go through the discography of The Lonely Island. And look, if you're listening to this and you don't know who The Lonely Island is, why? You must be a real sicko. You just love this podcast. But
Also,
easy
how?
enough.
If you're younger than like the age of my dad, how do you not know immediately who the Lonely Island are? Is my question.
Exactly. But in case you need a refresher, The Lonely Island is the comedy trio from the Bay Area born comedians Andy Samberg, Akiva Schaffer, and Jorma Taccone, Jorma Taccone. I said Jorma. I'm not why I say I'm not. That's a Yorm Thorn saying Jorm instead of Yorm.
All right, Matty, that's one strike. You just made an inside joke reference to the podcast.
Yeah. I'll take a drink. I was gonna take a drink anyways, but fuck it.
Okay, that's a good segue to two things. One, we need to introduce our guest, but first, there needs to be a ground rule set because Matty and I are obsessively listening to the Lonely Island podcast, and that's part of what has prompted us to like rewatch every sketch and then decide to do this. However, I don't want to make a podcast about a podcast. This is not the Bill Simmons podcast, which is a podcast people do about every single Bill Simmons episode. Like they do a podcast in response to it's insane. It's mental illness. I love it. But no, this is us trying to talk about the music as appreciators, because that podcast is about the making of the albums. So also we are going to want to bring up like things we have learned about how some of these songs were made or why they are the way that they are or whatever. But we also don't want to be dropping constant inside joke references or saying, okay, on the podcast, Jorma said like 40 times an episode. So we have like a strikes policy basically of how many times Matty and I are allowed to say something that, but also I think that there can be exceptions, or we can argue with the court on something's relevance. But in general, we're going to try not to do it because talking about other podcasts on a podcast kind of makes you want to drive into the ocean immediately. Of course. But you know who doesn't make me want to drive into the ocean? Our fabulous guests.
Yes.
Joining us on the podcast for the multiple, I don't know how many times, Grace Robins-Somerville, and for the first time, long overdue, Lou Barcott. Welcome to the podcast.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you for having us both.
A dynamic duo, if there ever was one.
Yes.
We do our best.
But I do, before we get into the topic at hand, which of course is the Lonely Island's debut album, Incredibad, I do want to ask the question for the entire panel, and then I'll answer it myself at the end, of how did you discover the Lonely Island / what was the first digital short and /or song from the Lonely Island that you listened to that you're like, oh yeah, this is just what my sense of humor is like now. Like, I guess these guys are just they're gonna just change my life forever with their beautiful songs and videos. So I will offer that question, of course, to our newest guest, insofar as they've not been on the podcast before. Lou, what was your introduction to the Lonely Island?
Yes, mine is extremely twofold, and I'm also like immediately going to date myself to like the week I was born, because my first answer is the Beyonce sketch, which was shown to me at my 10th birthday party when I did not know anyone, had just moved to town, and they commandeered my mother's laptop to watch the Beyonce sketch. And I was like, I'm so scared of all the other like 10-year-old girls in this room right now, but this is also very funny, and it is making it so I don't have to talk to these preteens for a minute, and that's awesome. And then the one that really got me, though, was watching Jack Sparrow on my friend Sam's iPod Nano in the aisle of the convenience store, like summer day, going to buy Cokes and sit on the playground, like perfect memory. Proustian Madeline of a Son memory. Love it.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've made our listeners mad at us for how young we are, and this episode I already can tell is gonna, because we've gotten older, but unfortunately, I think, if I'm correct age-wise, did we all get hit with the Lonely Island in like the sweet spot of like 8 to 13?
Big time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Big time.
Somewhere in there? Yeah. Okay, so that's why we're all here today. Exactly.
Yeah, this is a Zoomer podcast.
Really a Zillennial podcast.
Yeah, it's like an elder Zoomer podcast.
It's the thing where SNL is always the best when you're in middle school. Like, that is the eternal rule, and this was our middle school SNL.
It's a little bit that, but also it's like, as I think we'll get into, like the Lonely Island literally had some of the first viral videos on YouTube. Like YouTube becomes like a thing that, like, the same year that Lazy Sunday comes out, there are like news reports that say like, there's a new website called YouTube and people are uploading videos to it, you know? So like they are so wired into, but like, because we're the age that we are, where like we watched that BCAD transition happen as opposed to being like entirely after it. They have a special place in our heart in the way that will never be the case for me and a YouTuber of any kind, no matter how good they are. And like, that is what makes me not a full Zoomer, but I also, I always say the Mac, I play both sides, so I always come out on top, you know? Like, Volney had the idea that it's whether you're older than or younger than Lord, and I am within 2 weeks of Lord's birthday, so I cannot be more on the line.
Well, there you go. I'm so glad you brought up Lazy Sunday, because I'm pretty sure that was the first digital short that I ever saw. I remember my childhood best friend like quoting it incessantly when we were like walking home from school to her house and not having any fucking idea what she was talking about, and then her like pulling it up on her parents' computer in the computer room,
Yes,
which was a thing back then, and showing me that. And I'm not sure if I at the time had already heard "I'm on a Boat." I do remember that I heard "I'm on a Boat," the song, before I ever watched the digital short, and I don't think I paid very close attention to like the jokes in the song, because I fully just thought it was like a regular ass T-Pain song. I was like, yeah, T-Pain is like a ridiculous famous guy. This just sounds like a normal song of his with some guys that he's friends with. So I just was like, yeah, the T-Pain song, "I'm on a Boat." But I think it was like in middle school was when I had my like big SNL phase. And again, like Lou said, the best season of SNL is always the season that aired while you were in middle school. And just being very like nerdy about comedy and being kind of a theater kid and growing up in New York at this time, it was like perfect storm for me to have this middle school obsession with SNL. And my interest in the Lonely Island kind of spawned from that. And again, it was really like a golden age for the show, in no small part because of the Lonely Island.
Mm-hmm. Now, guest, which member of the SNL cast from when you were in middle school do you most want to give a smooch to?
I have a deep cut. Which is from actually my start of high school. But I've been an SNL freak my whole life to my own detriment. I watched it every week from 2020 to 2025, again, to my own extreme detriment. But mine was like short-lived cast member Noelle Wells from when I was in the start of middle school. And she like also did ukulele covers on YouTube, as was the style at the time. And I was just like, I was in love with that lady. I was 14 years old and she was the cutest.
Also first season of Master of None, to add to the, hipster cred. The hipster
I was
cred.
going to say, she also had a viral video on YouTube of her in the shower lip syncing to Toxic by Britney Spears and pouring various food items over her head. Cereal, coffee, like peanut butter, you name it. And just like washing her hair with it. Looking back, I'm like, was that fetish content? Debatable. But
as so much of the YouTube of 2014 was.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think, or like things that maybe were not intended to be fetish content, but if we saw them now, we'd be like, this is somebody's kink.
Yes.
I gotta go with Andy Samberg, very formative crush for me. But also Bill Hader, specifically Bill Hader as Stefan. One of many formative adolescent crushes on men who are so obviously gay.
Yep, it happens. But that was of course my question was of course just as a joke, a reference of course to a song that we'll talk about later on in this episode. But y'all have revealed your origins. Now, Jackie, what are your Lonely Island origins? What's the first one that you saw?
I think I apologized for this at one point on the podcast, but I used to give Matty a lot of shit for being an SNL nerd on the podcast, and I'm not. I would say that I am not an SNL nerd, but I also, it's not like one of my star signs that I identify with, you know what I mean? Like, I would not read a book about SNL, but if someone I like from SNL has a podcast and is talking about it on that podcast, like, I'll be interested, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of like median zone. I haven't watched any of the SNL 50th documentaries, but I did watch some of the sketches, you know, like I don't remember when the last time I watched SNL on TV is. Like now mostly if there's a sketch that's good enough to warrant people that I trust talking about it, like I'm just going to pull that bad boy up on YouTube and watch, such as like the Lonely Island Are Back and Sushi Glory Hole saving my life for today. But like in general, the Lonely Island like are the reason why I started to know and care about what SNL was and why it was important. Like I have loved Will Ferrell and Bill Hader and all of these Amy Poehler. Like I'm not pretending like I was above that, but also like I love that Prousty and Madeline came up not from me first, because this whole time prepping for this, keep going back to a memory I have in computer class, which was like old enough that it was like desktop computers, like the computer from Zoolander that they bust open, like that big chunky old school computer lab. And it was like Oregon Trail, and also like learning how to use like PowerPoint and do the like clip art, word art. You know, y'all know what I'm talking about with the like
Did you have Mavis Beacon teaches typing?
No, but like there was typing games, etc. Yes. Anywho, the point of this is that there was precious, like, you have 15 minutes at the end of this period to just like hang out on the computer. And did we immediately share a pair of wired headphones and watch I Like a Boss and I'm on a Boat? Yes, of course we did. There were very few things that I liked about being a boy in general, but being a 13-year-old boy listening to The Lonely Island, that's about as good as it gets right there. That's pretty beautiful stuff. And I was prepping for this playlist thinking, like, even though I've been listening to the podcast, like I should give the album a listen. I should prepare, but I'm coming home. Like it was like returning to the womb levels of comfort. Like this is just makes me embarrassingly happy. Like Michigan lost to Ohio State today, and I'm beaming because we get to talk about Punch You in the Jeans, you know? Like right there. There is, want to talk about how has the Lonely Island influenced me? DJ Horse Jeans, Punch You in the Jeans, I rest my case. Divots in the rivets with my physical arm, etc. Like everything about, but also I think that speaking to like what it is, I think with a little bit more specificity, the thing that I've always liked about them, but especially appreciate now that I've spent a lot of time listening to them talk about their process and all of this stuff, is that it's the exact right amount of too much effort, which Demi Adijuibe, who is a noted like Lonely Island hot rod pop star super fan, his comedy is very similar, where like those September videos or whatever, it's exactly the right amount of too much effort to be maximum funny. Because if it was like too overproduced, it loses the magic of like someone had to do this alone in a room, like someone had to come up with this and the kind of ramshackleness of that. But then also if it's like not if they don't put as much effort into it as they do, it becomes the bad version of comedy rap, you know? Because like the joke is not that they are rapping, like that's not the joke primarily. Lil Dicky is someone that I think about as a contrast, for example, who like famously once said that he wanted to do rap comedy because he thought that would be a good way to sort of get noticed, and he wanted Judd Apatow to think he was funny. That's a real thing he said out loud, not me being a hater. So I think that they have sort of created a monster, and I think their tone about how they discuss themselves acknowledges, like, they call themselves fake rappers because they respect actual rappers enough to be like, we're not that, but we also want to try at this because we appreciate it. And that's like the secret sauce of the Lonely Island, is they're not parodying individual songs as much as they are parodying like specific music motifs. They're not like, what if this song was about chicken tenders? Which, hey, no shade to Weird Al, like changing one word and making a song about penises or whatever. That's also a beautiful form of comedy that I love. But I love even more the idea of like making fun of a trope in pop music and then making fun of it by doing the trope sincerely and like not breaking but also winking, like that, the whole way that they just like toe that line of taking it seriously and not. You can see how, you know, someone that perhaps, I don't know, really wrote and recorded a long manifesto about the song Creep by Radiohead and then stretching out a super slow version of Creep that plays underneath the whole manifest. Like, you can see why I appreciate these guys, you know, like it's quite obvious their impact on me. But yeah, let's get into this record. And
hold on a second. I didn't talk about my
Hey,
origins.
oh,
you skipped
sorry,
over me.
Sorry,
You skipped
sorry,
over
Matty.
me. My
Well,
origins
Matty, we've been with you for a long time. We know Matty. He likes the Saturday Night Live. He likes Lorne Michaels. He likes
Okay.
He likes
loves
30
Lorne
Rockefeller Center.
I feel like my SNL nerdery is overstated on this podcast.
It is true. It is true.
Overstated. It's more just like I understand that SNL. It is a comedy. It's a live comedy sketch show, and you should treat it like a sport.
true.
Essentially, sometimes
Yes.
there's a couple seasons,
Yes.
right? You're just like you're just not interested in following the team this season. They haven't
They're
given
my
me a
terrible
reason,
team.
but they are my terrible
team.
team, and I love them. And and of course, again, here's the thing though: we say it's the best ones, whenever it was in middle school, but like, here's the thing with this, like this, again, the cast that Andy Samberg is in from like, I would say from like, I think you could kind of say 05, but I think definitely like go like it's for sure by like 06, 07 into like 2012, 2013. Like, damn, it's a fucking stacked cast. It is one of the most stacked cast they've ever had in the history of the show, of just people who were so good at their certain specialties and getting really funny and also really weird shit on the air very consistently. Like, it's a cast that is Bill Hader, Fred Armisen, Will Forte, Andy Samberg, Kristen Wiig.
John Mulaney was writing at one point. Like, the couple of snapshots of this. I mean, again, I'm gonna try not to use too many terms from the podcast, but one that we do need to clear for use is Anne Golden Era, which is always what they call it on the show, which then got confused with Nan Golden Era, which is even funnier. But Anne Golden Era is the term we will use to describe the specific era of SNL that we're talking about for the Lonely Island albums that exist in the time they're there.
They were also kind of like, even before that, like, class of 2005-ish came in, you already had, like, your Seth Meyers, your Amy Poehler, your Tina Fey's, and your Maya Rudolph's, like, as kind of the, or even Kenan Thompson at the time, who's been on that show for fucking ever, like, they were already becoming these, like, elder statespeople of SNL at the time that, like, the Lonely Island generation was coming in. So it was just kind of like, it's, you feel so corny trying to describe it to people. And also, like, I'm not sure how much of like me continuing to watch the show and be at least a little invested is like nostalgia for like, oh, well, like maybe we'll see a resurgence of that caliber again. It was really embarrassing when they let go, like,
Longfellow.
Yeah, Longfellow, Emil Wakim, Devin Walker at the end of last season, and a bunch of people were posting like, oh, like, I guess people still care about SNL, and meanwhile I'm like, yeah,
that's my sports team. Yeah, and it's like, I can't imagine being a 13-year-old dork today and getting into SNL. Like, I can't imagine being like, this rots. Like, I'm sure that like that's Dropout for teens now, but it's incredible. And also just like the
freaking skibbity toilet and Italian brain rot.
Hey, never underestimate people being precocious and lay wrong generation, because it does still happen where like you'll meet a Zoomer that is like weirdly trying to impress like Gen X men somehow, like
my whole life. Yes.
There are still people for whom that, like, even if they fall outside the quote unquote age, and I think like
Yeah.
The whole it's overstated is cliche, not only the 13 thing, but also that for every single era of SNL, you can find articles like concurrent to the time where someone is saying like, well, it's over, the show will never be funny again, and then in 20 years people talk about that era and are like, it was really great back then, we didn't know how good we had it, partly because
it's actually like that's there's an Onion article, I think, that's like dad says SNL only good and when he was in middle school, as does son, as does grandfather, that I remember that was like incredible. But I do think there's like this level of cast cohesion that you did, especially like around the time this album comes out and everyone's been there for a second. That's really incredible. Like you watch not to get into ahead of ourselves, but like in Ross Trent, you've just got like Casey Wilson and Kristen Wiig in the background hanging out. And it's just, there's so much of an investment in each other's success in this era that I think really comes through.
Yeah, or like the faces that fucking Jenny Slate, who was only on SNL for one season and had kind of like an unceremonious exit, like the faces she's pulling in I Threw It on the Ground, even though she's in that video for like 5 seconds, are incredible. It's a real team effort, and I don't know, the Lonely Island feel like spiritually like a microcosm of the attitude of that era.
They do, but they're also their own, like, I think they eventually sort of fit in with everyone, partly because they have the success in their own, but, like, I think as we'll get into on this episode, they just arrive at SNL as their own self-sufficient unit. Like, the whole movie, Popstar, is about their actual real-life friendship, clearly, secretly, in the background of being a music biopic, and, like, the three of them are just not only, like, have different skill sets that complement each other, but on top of that, like the real Beastie Boys, who I think are their like North Star musically, you can tell how much fun they have making music with each other, which is an underrated music thing. Like the power of people that are genuinely having fun anytime they're making music or performing together is like even after they've been in the industry and toured and all that stuff, like that natural resource like powers stadiums in entertainment, and like they are clearly real close friends and also just like a dynamic team in terms of, I didn't realize until I listened to the podcast how much they write lyrics for each other, like just because one of them is saying the lyric in the song almost not never, but like half of the time it's not the person saying it that wrote it. It's just like, this is an Andy line and I just came up with it as we were brainstorming lines for this song or whatever. And once I learned how to spot a Yorma line, I quickly realized he's my guy. Like I identify with Yorma so deeply. We won't talk about it on this episode, but maybe my single favorite, like the thing that I identify as like the essence of Yorma as a songwriter is the line that he wrote on Mother Lover. We are so cool and thoughtful. Just like in the middle of a pop song that is about a bad idea, like taking a minute to be like, we are so cool and thoughtful, but saying it in like a cool, like a pop star cadence, I think is like one of the funniest things that's ever happened. And I love Yorm. I love all three of these boys. And I love this album that we should get into now in proper.
Yes. And I'm glad you brought up Popstar because like this is their Style Boys moment, especially if you look at their extremely 2000s outfits in these first videos. It's just like incredible. This is pure Style Boys.
You could say it's incredible and bad. Incredibad, which is the album.
I don't think anyone, no matter how hot and or stylish you are at this current present moment, feels great about the clothes they were wearing if they were photographed a lot in 2005. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
God. Then of course you have Andy's fucking giant ass hair this time.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to pick a dream like a crush from that SNL era, because the thing about Andy Samberg is that he's always been cute, but sometime between like 2016 and 2025 he became the hottest man in the entire world. It just like he wasn't not attractive, but it just happened. It all clicked at one point, and then And then
That's what
now
happens
we're
when
here.
you marry Joanna Newsom.
That's the best way to put it. Yeah, no, 100%. The glow started hitting differently.
Which I was gonna text you this, Jackie, but I was like, I held back because it was late and I was about to go to bed. I'm like, she doesn't need to hear this. But a clip popped up from Late Night with Seth Meyers, and Seth himself, but also his brother. I was like, it's crazy that within the Lonely Myers podcast, like there's literally like an extended member of the family that is literally related to Gavin Newsom, and yet Seth Meyers and his brother look way more like Gavin Newsom than the actual
That
Newsom
is
relative.
true. Wow, I never thought
Right?
about that. That's funny.
But Incredibad.
We'll get to Joanna Newsom on a song on this album. Yeah, go. I mean, go ahead. When was the first time you heard that?
I saw Like a Boss in Jizz in My Pants, and I'm on a boat on YouTube when I was a child, and I immediately put those videos on my little tiny iPod Nano that had the video screen. So
Yes.
I watched those on repeat ad nauseum, especially Like a Boss and Jizz in My Pants, which we'll get into very quickly within this episode. But I will say for the actual album Incredibad, this series is simultaneously like a journey for me because Jackie has listened to all these albums. I have not. I think the only album I've really listened to in full is like, I guess technically the Bash Brothers Experience. I'm kind of exploring these albums for the first time, at least as full length records. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to do the series with Jackie, is to have an excuse to listen to these records and talk about why we love these boys so much. And I think like I didn't expect Incredibad to be bad by any means, but even I was just so genuinely surprised, like, oh my god, as an album, this thing is really good. Like, it is, like, all the songs are fucking good, like just good songs for the most part. There's maybe one or two things that haven't aged particularly well, but we'll get there when we get there. But for the most part, like, the songs are all good. It's really well paced. Like, it's a 42-minute record and it feels like it's 20. Like, it's so well paced. It's over before you know it. And you're like, wait a second, like they just got through like 19 songs in like that amount of time. Like, that does not, that's incredible. But not bad at all. But, and also like the fact that I think that we're going to learn over the course of this series, it's just like these guys know how to write fucking songs. Like, they just understand pop music fundamentals on such an insane degree. And I wish they gave themselves more credit for that, because like when you compare this to the evil creations they've spawned from like Lazy Sunday becoming like the first proper viral video on YouTube, you know, like all like epic rap battles of history, like people like Brett Baker, like all these like pop song parody people on YouTube. When you actually get the genuine article, you're like, oh my god, this, like, does no one actually understand what makes these guys work? And listening to this album for the first time the past like month or so is like, oh my god, they get it. They get it.
I have listened to the main 3 albums, but I think that was from a different, like, I mostly experienced them as like the main big hit songs that half the time I'd watch the shorts on YouTube or whatever, but I definitely heard all of these songs at some point, but I do feel in a similar sort of way that like I heard some of these songs with new ears within the last year, just being like, now that I fully can appreciate how brilliantly stupid they are, and now that I'm a more sophisticated music listener, which I was saying as a joke at the beginning, but like there's genuine things that like I didn't appreciate about whatever until I knew how to talk about music, but like I love this record in particular, and we should get right into it.
Yes. So I guess we just go track by track. We won't, you know, some will have more to say, others will not have as much to say. Who Said We're Whack is a beautiful intro to the record. Now Jackie has already expressed her bias for Yorma, which is fair. Again, there's a great Yorma line way down the line on this record that I think about very often since I've listened to this record and then listened to the episode that they did on this album on the podcast. But I gotta say, what I've learned from listening to this record, and then of course like Sushi Glory Hole and various other tunes, is like I think my bias is Kiev. I fucking love Kiev, and this song is such a beautiful highlight for Kiev off the jump, because of course the conceit of the song is like of course Chester, who of course is in Hot Rod and is a longtime friend of the Lonely Island Boys, like one of their childhood friends, And I hope at some point we'll hear more from Chester within the podcast and just other stuff. Because again, I think about the scene in Hot Rod where he is putting up the posters and then throwing them and then doing his little dance. I think about that very often. But of course, he's the first voice we hear on the record be like, yo, I heard people saying that you're whack. And we get this beautiful song where over the course, you can tell that all these guys are very butthurt that someone said that they were whack. And Keeve, I think, gives the best performance because Keeve seems the most genuinely upset that people are saying that he's whack. He's so sad that another person would call a person whack. You know, what's going on there? But this was
I love the way Keeve performs sadness so much, just like across the whole discography. I feel like he's got such a talent for being the guy, just like the total bad news bear of the group. Like you can't help but root for him and feel bad for him when he's on the bottom. And he's so good at choreographing that here and everywhere. Like this is such a there's a baby seed of Wells for Boys in this song to me.
It is like, I think with him it makes sense why he's like the sort of main director of the group, because just like, yeah, he knows how to get the best performances out of these boys because he himself knows how to give a very good performance. And I wish he gave himself more credit for like how good he is on these records and their various songs. Like
totally.
Part of the reason why Sushi Glory Hole hit as hard as it did is like, oh wow, that's like the first time we've heard like Keeve on a song or like anything in like 6 years.
I also think though that some of it is good though that they know ball enough to not call themselves basketball players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they'll play pickup, but they're not like we're in the NBA. Mm-hmm. They respect and that's, you can also tell that from like half of the time when they're getting someone from the show or whatever to do a song with them, it's like, it would be really cool to do a song with them and like, we'll do something funny, but really this is like a backdoor for us to just be able to do a song with these people that we really respect. And I think that in general, the thing that really works about their comedy is that high level of effort and knowledge combined with like consistently low status characters. Ever since there's a lot of phrases that I heard on Blank Check and then just entered my brain like it's gone forever. But like Griffin talks about acting scenes in terms of high status and low status a lot. And I think about that a lot now in terms of like comedy and acting and other things. And I think not to just constantly compare them positively to Lil Dicky negatively, but like the song where Lil Dicky like creates an excuse for himself to say the N-word is not a low status song. Like the whole thing is he's like whatever taking advantage of this loophole. But then like this and every other Lonely Island song is someone performing low status with high status energy. Like they're so insecure and lame and they are doing it and they are trying to perform it like DMX. And that the best version of that I think is the sort of sequel to this, We're Back, on the start of the next record, which is literally like a parody of a Dipset song. But like I love them in this mode, and I think you're right to point out that Akiva, his delivery and like the kind of aggro energy that he brings he has a really good voice for this sort of thing. And I think especially on like Bash Brothers and some of the verses he has on these first two albums, it really shines. And for concepts like this where the whole joke is really aggressively being like, who said we're whack? How could somebody call someone whack? Like it's really great.
Don't put in the newspaper that they're mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Andy has the best line on the song IMO, which is just, how many babies born will never reach their dreams, and how can a person call another person whack?
I wanted to shout out that line specifically because there are parts of this song that get so like, what's wrong with the world, mama? Like, so like veering into where is the love, Black Eyed Peas territory.
100%.
And I do feel like on a lot of like this record and Turtleneck and Chain, you can tell that they are so tapped into like the trends of 2000s top 40 pop music and like the tropes of it, and they know how to embrace those tropes and subvert them so well.
Yeah, because I feel like 25% of the reason why I love this album as much as I do is just like, damn, this was a good time for pop music, and these guys know how to make songs very well in that vein.
100%.
And this is why I thought "I'm on a Boat" was just a regular old T-Pain song.
This record, I also had that realization, Matty, because like I like the song "Here I Go" with Charlie XCX, but they talked about that's like a parody of like a newer kind of pop song that I just don't like. So like in that case, I think they're doing a good faith version of a thing that's just like less for me. Whereas this era of pop music that they're running adjacent to, we've covered on this podcast before, and those episodes were called middle school dance music, and that music also shaped me fundamentally. And so even though some of this stuff is dated, like the vocal stacks that Justin Timberlake taught them how to do and the like late 2000s synth pop instrumentals of some of these songs go harder than they have any right to. And I love this record in part because it's pop music, but also like the reason why they are so much better than every rap parody group of white people that has ever existed is that they're not parodying like rap songs as a monolith. Like Punch You in the Jeans is like a Jurassic 5 backpacker type rap song, whereas I'm on a Boat is like Rick Ross circa Blowin' Money Fast. Like it's all different. It's specific and it's not just like very generalized, but then it's taking that and then building an incredibly stupid and specific concept on top of that, which is a great segue to maybe the second song on this record, which is one of the best things that's ever happened in the entire
before
world.
that, I do just want to speak to Jackie's point and bring up another favorite Sandberg SNL character, Blizzard Man, which feels like just an excellent parody of the thing that you were just critiquing, where it's like white comedy rapper whose entire bit is like, hey, isn't it funny that this fucking like nerdy white guy is rapping? Shout out Blizzard Man.
But also, like, not to be too, sociology 101 about it, but, like, Blizzard Man also, like, when people do that, the reason why Lil Dicky doesn't work is that he's unable to not posture in a way that he wants you to think he's secretly cool. Or, like, Young Gravy is the even worse version of this. Like, they nakedly also want you to take them seriously underneath their like layer of irony to protect themselves from you judging them seriously, whereas like the Lonely Island are just like fully transcend, like they're totally willing to play the fool in a way that these people simply are not. Like they doing songs about how smelly their dicks are and whatever. Like they're more willing to kind of like embrace that as opposed to like trying to have their cake and eat it too in a way that they're also like whatever.
Yeah, like there's never a moment on these records where they get serious for a second. You know, there's Dave Chappelle getting serious for a second. My friend fucking died. Like, there's never any moments like that on any of these albums.
They make fun of it too. I mean, like I think Grace is pointing out really well the sort of thread that we will follow that eventually leads to Incredible Thoughts, which is basically an entire song about parodying socially conscious lyricism. Like, but let's before we get to Incredible Thoughts, let's get to some incredible thoughts about Santana DVX. Unfortunately, Santana DVX, the real alcohol, does not exist anymore. I was going to buy some and pop it for this episode, obviously. But I think this song, is ahead of its time in that it gets right to the bottom of why celebrity liquors are silly years before like that became like a multi-billion-dollar industry. But I also think that more than anything else, in preparation for this podcast, there's been one phrase that has been ringing in my head like a bell. And that phrase is, as a kid, I used to lie awake and think, when was Santana gonna make a drink? And
it's like Shakespearean.
It is, but it's also it is in two. Like, I love how fast Lonely Island songs develop as sketches. Like every time they get to the premise so fucking quick, and that's like partly just the byproduct of working on SNL, but also like they're really good at it, and they're always trying to cut their own songs down shorter. But I also love songs like this where the premise is exhausted in the first two lines, and then the whole joke is that it keeps going. Like immediately, the joke is set up and resolved that it is silly to want to drink a wine that is specifically made by Carlos Santana. Like that celebrity wines are stupid because it only matters if it tastes good. And why would the guy that plays Smooth, the guitar on Smooth, like, why do you want to drink the drink that guy made? We don't even know if he's good at making drinks, you know? But then the rest of the song is going to be like, okay, but we're going to take it seriously that you do. And we're going to, and it then becomes the funniest song ever and an opportunity for them to work with E40. But
Yes.
What do y'all think of Santana DVX?
God, I love this song so much. This song, I feel like, is so against, it's like all Lonely Island songs. It is a song about friendship. It's a song where you see something weird with your friends at the supermarket and then you talk about it for the rest of all time. Like every single thing Benson Boone has ever done is Santana DVX to me. Like all Benson Boone products are Santana DVX. It's a forerunner in that world. And it's like, I have a group chat with Grace where we have the Benson Boone Instagram background. Like that's so important to me. It's so important to see these things once and think about them forever. I also think it's really important that we note the Santana bottles. I am on ultimatesantana.com, and the bottles did wear little necklaces, and they did come with little feather necklaces.
Do you think you can still get a bottle of Santana's wine like on eBay or something?
I looked around. I think it was just like a limited time, like DVX is like a particular kind of whatever, and they just don't make it anymore. I don't think so, unfortunately.
Sad.
If you know how to get us some Santana DVX, please hit our line. Hit the line. Patreon.com/IndieHeadsPodcast. Please hit the line. Join the Discord. Tell us where we can get Santana DVX, because from the way that these guys are singing about it, it seems like it's the most incredible drink in the world. But I think this song is secretly the best Lonely Island song, or at the very least, it's the best non-single. It's the best non-single they've ever put out. Of like, wow, these guys, like, I think it's correct that they call themselves frappers, fake rappers. Like, that's good. You got to show humility. Don't take yourself too seriously. But then you do listen to this, and you're like, these guys have like, there's some good bars. There's some like clever wordplay. Like, but they know what they're doing.
I think, Matty, I do understand your desire to be the white knight defending the Lonely Island, because I too have wanted people to take them just the tiniest bit more seriously. However, I think the reason they don't do that is that they won to such a degree that, and how can that be better exemplified by the fact that on their first album, these kids from the Bay Area that like rap music got E40 on their album and had him rap as Carlos. Like, this is the biggest blank check that they will cash until eventually they will make a Beastie Brothers style rap album about the baseball players they liked when they were 13.
Yeah.
Which is the blankest check anyone has ever cashed in any medium. But like, this is like, and also because doing that also allowed them to make an entire album of Bay Area rap parodies because it's like specifically time appropriate. Anyways, like that is the kind of mentality of Bash Brothers. Bash Brothers is born with Santana DVX, I think, in terms of like just doing something that basically is entirely reverse engineered to get E40 to come on the song, and along with the Keeve line that I highlighted. I have thought so much about the choice to have E40 say "get laid all the time" by 70s chicks, like just to specify, like to have E40 do a rap verse as Carlos Santana bragging about his wine, but then to not say that he's getting laid by 70s chicks specifically.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, also, I love the kind of local trivia bonus of them being like Northern California boys and shouting out like Napa Valley, and that like them being basically from wine country. Just
100%.
Yes. Also, how many different words for champagne they find in this song and how many
So
different
many.
ways they use the word
Yeah.
champagne is just classic, incredible.
I also think that like everyone, we're gonna talk about Natalie's rap, and like Natalie's rap was her getting like an entire Oscars worth of attention for like being game to do that. But we should also appreciate that E40 was asked to come into a studio and say, "That's right, I see you bitches is enjoying my sparkling wine," and he gave 110% commitment. He did not be like, this is, there's not 1 ounce of his body that was like, this is stupid, this is embarrassing that I'm doing it. Like he was so down, and I only wish there had been a music video for this song. That's my only real regret.
Because I want to see E40 dressed as Carlos Santana, and I do
also
love the
would've been
choice
fun.
on this song to have him not do anywhere near a Carlos Santana impression. Like he's just gonna be. It's the beauty, of course, of a song that I think is on the next record of When Worlds Collide. Of it's just funnier that you just don't do a voice. You just be yourself, but you're also for some reason Carlos Santana. It's beautiful.
I do think it also kind of speaks to the sincerity of this era of SNL and like the clout that they had, where musicians would just be like, would come on board for comedy songs and just like go whole hog. I feel like you don't see that level of like, no, we're going to play this completely seriously, no winking and nodding, that you see from this era. And even on the features lineup for this album alone.
There's some very good features, and we'll get to them. But
yes.
And we're talking about, again, these guys have good bars. I mean, the way Keeve hits the line, he's a Southwest tie wearing bolo champ coming straight out the box with a bold nose champ. Like that's a bar.
The thing I was gonna highlight. First of all, we do need to move on. We're getting a little birthday signee, as we often are in these podcasts. But I will say, I did want to highlight that line specifically. We're really in sync already, Matty. Because there's something about, there's a specific kind of lyric. I think Andy writes a lot of these that are like kind of bad in terms of actually like efficiently communicating an idea to you. You like have to think about them for too long, but they sound really good. Like as like just cellar door phrases. Like there are a couple more that I'm thinking about that we'll get to on the record, but that one is so like Southwest
like Max Martin in that way.
100%. It's just it's gibberish. Like bold nosed champ is not a thing I have ever heard a person say, but in the context of that, I was like, of course, obviously, a bold nosed champ.
I mean, Jackie, your Jimmy Cap was crowning like a newborn. You know,
I mean that is a thing I've always appreciated as a former Kanye West stan, is that like charisma can carry a bar that like just should not exist. They should not have been allowed to say and the salsa fusion his ladies shoe producing like that he's ladies shoe producing.
He teamed with Rob Thomas for a music revolution. It's so good. There's so many good really lines on this song.
Santana DVX, shout out. But let's move on to one of the iconic singles of this record.
Yes. Also, before I hit the lyrics page, I mean, a horse drank a bottle and fucked a cow. Like all of E40's line deliveries on this song are incredible. But that one, he puts his whole fucking heart in that line, and it's just like, yep, that's got to be the end line of the entire song. It's beautiful. But that brings us, of course, to I think this is actually I don't remember if it is this song or Like a Boss, but I basically watched them both back to back when I first discovered the Lonely Island. So jizz in my pants.
I think those two and I'm on a Boat are really the ones that hit like nuclear weapons in middle schools and everywhere. Yeah, totally.
This song taught me what jizz was.
Yes. This song taught me that you could say jizz in my pants in the world.
I was having a very similar thought today, which is that I think that this album is the first time I heard cunt before, which like as a now transgender woman means the Lonely Island are gay icons now. Like there's nothing I can do about that. As an American who was not exposed to that word until they called Steve one, that was a huge moment for me.
Oh my god. This song also, this just unlocked like an insane memory for me, which is that I had a friend, I believe at summer camp, who thought I was singing this song and like kind of got in trouble because she thought that jizz was slang for pee.
This is a thing I've heard. I've heard this from other. Like your friend is not the only person this has happened to. This was also a common. The Lonely Island got many people's parents to have to give them the talk, undeniably.
And
yes, you know absolutely.
What? Good for them. Sex education in this country is severely lacking, so they're doing a public service.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like speaking to our the conversation earlier about like low status and not like half-assing the low statusness, this song is the perfect example of like, even though the song doesn't break the reality in that it is a like produced pop song that they have total. There's another like running joke that they do where they will be recording a song and then within the recording of the song, like events will go wrong, but you keep having the thought of like at some point the characters in this song like went back to the studio and wrote a song in which things go badly for them in the song that they write, you know? And that's like, I think that like dramatic irony tension is like the whole jizz in my pants thing, is that the song doesn't wink at all, but the lyrics make it really clear that you're not supposed to think that this is like, you're supposed to get that they are like terrible, not just that they come too fast, but the immediate like flipping to slut shaming immediately. Like it's incredible. It's so funny.
Yes, and I think that's an arc in their career that then builds to Jack Sparrow of this moment of just, it's all on the table there, but it originates here with this idea of just like, can you believe this? Also, going with the we're just all terrible, really was struck rewatching the video for this by it's just about scarves. It's just about everybody wearing 3 scarves in the video, and that's perfect to me.
They're so European. I think I'd have to double check, but this is definitely, I think at least on this album, the most European song.
100%. I think they said that they came up with they just came up with the idea, and then as they were thinking about what kind of song it should be, they just landed on like a Pet Shop Boys European vibe of sorts, and the scarves. There is something funny about like the almost British accents that they're just doing in this song for no reason. I especially think about the line and delivery of last week I saw a film, as I recall it was a horror film like once a week. But like in general, the way that this song, not to make it pun intended, gets to the point really quickly, is a microcosm for their whole deal. But yet also it finds a way to escalate, because like usually like if their sketches will like reveal the whole thing at the beginning, but then also they'll find a way to make it even more like it goes A to B to C to D in like 2 minutes 30 seconds, you know.
And also, again, I will say this a bunch of times, this is just also a genuinely very good pop song. The like little pocket that Yorma gets in and Andy gets in on like verses 2 and 3, where you start having like, the breathing sounds in the background, like they get in such a nice little pocket with the beat here that it's just like, oh wow, these boys, again, they're really studying, you know, your European club pop. And of course, I mean, I think the biggest inspiration for the song is like fucking Future Sex Love Sounds, which of course
the biggest inspiration is, now this will be my thing, I think I sort of reference this vaguely, but they talk about on the podcast, one strike for Jackie.
You have 2 at this point. You've
fair, at least 2
at least 2 at this point,
at least 2. But when they do dig in a box, like Justin Timberlake literally sits them down and is like, let me show you how to stack vocals in Pro Tools and do this and do that or whatever. And that's why that song sounds like it's not that they like hired professional producers, like they just got lucky to like work with Justin Timberlake very early. And so there are a couple of songs on this record. I think this is the first one that they made. They said they made after learning that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
But on the bridge of this song, you can literally hear them being like, "Okay, let's just try to do that now." And I have long thought that the bridge on this song is way catchier than it has any right to be. The I just read it in my pants every time you're next to me part. It goes. It's like it is a middle school dance song that also thematically evokes middle school. It's beautiful.
And also, in a way, it's kind of beautiful, that just by holding hands, these boys experience ecstasy. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. But please ignore like a bunch of the things they said earlier on the song. But just in that isolated way, it's kind of beautiful that these boys jizz in their pants, just because they love you so much, girl. But yeah, this is
our bodies touch and the angels cry. That's poetry.
That is poetry. Like that's like goddamn, that's a bar. But I think like if we're talking about the way to separate sometimes some of these songs is, would I listen to this song if it was not about this? This is in that camp of like, this is just genuinely one of the best songs on a pure song level that they've ever written, of just like great hooks, like fantastic production, which part of the magic of this record is that they got signed by a major label, of course, after the success of Lazy Sunday and Natalie's Rap. And the label's like, hey, we have all of these beats. We're just going to send you like hundreds of beats and you choose what you want for your record. We don't care. And
yeah, also a lot of them were made by like Yorma's brother or like a friend of theirs or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these are weirdly this like mix of like their ability to get T-Pain or whoever, but then also like that they could make a good enough version of this on the fly, so they were able to do it in 7 days while filming SNL. Like,
yeah,
they just caught some lightning in a bottle on this first record, particularly, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you catch lightning in a bottle, and you know what else you put in a bottle sometimes? You put a boat in a bottle, a ship in a bottle, a boat in a bottle, and that brings us to our next song, I'm on a Boat, which is a genuinely incredible song. This, I believe, it just got straight up nominated for like best rap song collaboration at the Grammys. Like it just got a genuine rap album like Grammy or rap song Grammy nomination, which of course the boys in retrospect, they're like, we don't like that. Like we don't like we'll show up, but like we really should not like be here. This is like we are fake rappers. We do not deserve to have this nomination. But here's the thing. This song is incredible. It is such a beautiful version of, as you said earlier in the podcast, Jackie, like this Rick Ross type beat, DJ Khaled type beat of like this era of like rap music, where rap music enters the clubs for 100% certain. Like the rap music is club music now, and this is such a beautiful, like their reverse engineering of that with the dumbest fucking thing in the world was just like, we got free boat trip. I want a free boat trip, and we're just gonna rap about being on a boat, and it's the most beautiful thing in the world. And Keeve and Andy on this song they're so good. Like there's a reason why Keeve is a bias here, because it's just like Keeve is so good on this song in particular. But that's not to insult Andy. Andy also gets in such these boys are so deep in the pocket on the song. It's incredible.
Nautical themed Pashmina Afghan. That's all I have to say.
That goes exactly back to the thing I was saying about bars that are incredible bars, but also you have, if there wasn't a visual reference, it would take you like 3 times reading. It's like reading Thomas Pynchon novels where you have to read the sentence 4 times to get what was said. Like they've got some dense bar, but that bar being juxtaposed with 2 bars above it with my favorite lyrics on the song, which is I'm riding on a dolphin doing flips and shit, the dolphin splashing, getting everybody all wet, but this ain't SeaWorld. This is real as it gets. I've thought about that my entire life. Like since I was a child, I have thought about those lyrics and how funny they are.
I love that there's a callback to the Santana Champ in this.
Yeah, did not pick that up until this, like until now, because obviously the first time I heard of this, them drinking Santana champ because it's so crisp. I just assumed that was a thing I would learn when I was an adult, you know?
Yes, yeah, totally.
I feel like this is maybe the Lonely Island song that I have like the most formative memories attached to. Like, I feel like I remember hearing this at like school dances and like bar mitzvahs because it does sound like the, you know, pop rap of that era. I sang this in a fucking school choir concert once, and we weren't allowed to curse, so we had like air horns.
PS22.
We had air horns that we would like honk during the curses.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably either sang this song or heard someone sing this song anytime I've ever been on any kind of boat in my life.
It's like the ultimate $1.29 iTunes single to me.
Yes.
Like,
absolutely. I love this song, and I agree that like it is the song that just makes the most sense in that outside world context, but also they don't like cheat. You could imagine a version of the song where they cut out any of the lyrics that are like really underlining that it's supposed to be silly, and it could have just been a rap song about being on a boat. But like the bravery to include saying flippy floppies but still delivering it like that's a cool thing to say is like the essence of the song. And then combined with that, the thing that really gives it the verisimilitude is that you get T-Pain there during absolute peak prime T-Pain, which I was thinking about this today, like having the ability to write down words and then have T-Pain sing those words. That's like no one man should have all that power, right? Like that's like a nuclear weapon level of responsibility to be able to like wield that, and for it to have them do it for the purpose of having T-Pain sing that he fucked a mermaid. Like that's great stuff. That's public service that you did.
And it's so beautiful that on the bridge where T-Pain is finally given like a verse. I do love that in return the boys do his ad-libs on that part. It's a beautiful little thing. It's a beautiful detail that it's like you're returning the favor. It's so beautiful.
This song walked so that MJ Lenderman's boat songs could run. Or this song ran too. Sure. They both swam.
God. They floated.
They both floated.
Fuck land, I'm on a boat, motherfucker. Fuck trees, I climb boys, motherfucker.
No, get the fuck up, this boat is real.
Get the fuck
up. This boat is real.
I wanted to say that's the perfect line.
I did this song at karaoke recently, and the room fucking lit up. Once get the fuck up, this boat is real. The room lit the fuck up. It is such a beautiful thing. I did lose my voice, of course, after I did this song. Because this was after like a busy like conference where I'm like talking to lots of people in very loud rooms while drinking alcohol. So I set myself up for disaster to lose my voice, but it was 100% worth it. This is a beautiful song. And I in my notes, I did want to pull up. We're not going to play too many of the songs here, but I did want to play the live version they did of this song on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon with the Roots. Because it is very beautiful to again, you not only made hey, you wrote these things for T-Pain to sing, you also like, hey, you like made this beat, or like you found this beat, and now the Roots have to learn how to do it and perform with you live on national television.
From their album Incredibad, please welcome the Lonely Island.
And also the brief period of time where Jimmy Fallon was like the coolest dude on Late Night.
He is very awake in this clip.
Yes. We have Yorma in a dunce cap that says landlubber.
It turns out a very real recreation of their dynamic in real life is this video.
Amazing scarf moment from Andy.
The Pashmina Afghan.
I also just love how tall the dunce cap has to be to fit landlubber on it. It's like touching the ceiling.
I believe that's Black Thought filling in for T-Pain, which again, you are Black Thought. You've made all these like incredible records with the Roots. These very like deeply serious hip hop records, and like however many years later, you're wearing a captain's hat on live TV while these Bay Area white boys sing their song about being on a boat. It's
about wearing swim trunks and
they're
flippy
taking it
floppies.
so seriously. Keeve is, I mean, I said it already, but seriously, Keeve is so good on this song. He sells some of these lines so hard. Like, there's a reason why you think, maybe on first listen, if you're not paying that much attention, why this is like a real song. Because these guys are giving it their all.
Especially period appropriate, you could play the song in a club and it wouldn't like stop people in their tracks in the way any other comedy song would, and that's the beauty of it.
Isn't there a story on the podcast where they did like
I think so, but I wasn't gonna bring it up, Matty, because we're not talking about another podcast.
Another strike,
podcast.
But it is relevant. It is relevant.
It is, I suppose. Let's move on. We're only we are very early in the album in the grand scheme of things, and we got to keep it moving.
Yes.
This next one I think will be a quick one. It's not one of the best tracks on the album, but also I will admit I laughed listening to Saxman today. I'm human, it's really fun still.
It's
Saxman.
Saxman featuring Jack Black, and like I do think it ages partly because of the Jack Black of it all. He's like, it's like, oh yeah, this guy has kind of been just doing his shtick, like this same shtick for like 25, 30 years. But again, the song does get you.
It's a baton pass, right? Like I think Weird Al had the comedy music belt, and then Tenacious D had their era. I don't think they really ever took it away from Weird Al, but they were just like doing their own thing. And like the Lonely Island are kind of fusing a lot of the best elements of both. But I also think that this song does highlight like the difference between the Jack, because he's doing a similar thing where part of the joke is that he is a good singer doing the songs about tribute or whatever. And the last song on this record is blatantly like a tribute type song, but a rap song. But like, I think in general, like this is one that I feel like is a little interlude adjacent, but also I really do love that they have highlighted one of my favorite tropes in music, which is when like someone announces music instruments that are about to happen, but then immediately subverting that thing, like having Jack Black give all the run up to the sax man and then the sax man. It's great. It's just classic.
And it is very funny that they had Lenny Pickett from the SNL band record sax sounds, but he's too good at the sax that they just had to like get a keyboard and figure out how to do it themselves. Because it's like, yeah, no, you like even when you're trying to sound shitty, you are Lenny Pickett, so even your shitty sax sounds are still too good for our silly stupid song. But also this is a concept that they would probably end up doing better not too long afterwards with the Shy Ronnie songs. Like, this is Shy Ronnie origins in a way. Like, Saxman is like Shy Ronnie's dad. Like that is my personal canon for Shy Ronnie, is that his father is the sax man.
Oh, absolutely. And I think they're just so good at timing the one single notes in each of these. It's always just like the worst, most abysmal spot it could be in. And I love that. And also just like the true gun-ho-ness of the repeat after me is like, really, we're giving it your all, buddy. And that's really kind to me.
But yeah, there's not too much to say.
Not much here.
It's the sax man, but of course it's not. Look, there's the sax man, but of course, that's not the sax man that I know and love. Of course, we're talking about. I mean, not the sax man, the scat man. We love the scat man here on the podcast. We love Scatman John.
Yeah, Scatman John.
Sax man, he ain't got nothing on Scatman John. But we now get to the song that brought us to the show. Pretty much, this is where. I mean, obviously they had made songs before this one, but this is where like it's like, oh, okay, these guys are a thing and we have to like pay attention, and this is going to reshape not only comedy but also just like the way that the internet works. And that of course is Lazy Sunday, Andy Samberg, Chris Parnell. This is the second digital short they do on the show, at least the second short they do that gets aired, and you would think, okay, 2005, this song is probably this song is beautiful. It's still a beautiful, wonderful song, and I think part of that is the fact that Chris Parnell. I mean, Chris Parnell, again, you talk to any SNL or any like SNL nerd or nerd adjacent, they're going to tell you Chris Parnell, that's an underrated SNL player. And this song, and I do love that this song consistently gets its flowers because Parnell is so good on this song. And I kind of wish there was more Parnell collaborations they did.
I think it's telling because like they were the ones that got him to do this and got him to do the part that he does on Natalie's rap, and in both cases it's like he's too good at rapping. It's like it's concerning how good he is just like picking it up and trying it, and then on top of that having him do what is essentially a almost word for word parody of an Ice Cube song where he is the finger wagging anchor on TV basically for the rapper to cuss at. Like he could have been on real rap albums. Like if he had been on any Snoop Dogg album playing the like stodgy white person that Snoop Dogg then like he could have been perfect for that role in any real context. And weirdly also he is similar to Keeve, where he's able to perform the like aggression of it like very sincerely well, while also highlighting that the lyrics of the song are very silly.
It's again, fucking you thinking what I'm thinking. Naughty, yeah, man. It's just the flow is so good here, and again, as you said, Parnell has genuinely just like that's just one of the best like voices I've ever heard. Like he's just it's such a beautiful calming voice where again able to simultaneously be like sort of like stubborn like ooh rap white guy rap music is scary, but then again also this, and of course you got the SNL 50 Lonely Island medley they did during the 50 special earlier in the year where you had Parnell doing the Kendrick Mustard thing and it wasn't cringeworthy. It was like that's beautiful. It's beautiful. That
but they also had to tell him about it, which is the microcosm of Chris Parnell. Is they had to explain Mustard to him, and then he just did it with full commitment because that's who he was.
Yes, but also it's such a 2005 song. Just obviously, just from all the references.
I think this is the one that I think I mean, like a Boss and I'm on a Boat were like very big as like YouTube videos, but I think in terms of pure Anchorman style, people saying lyrics from this song like on the playground or wherever in life, this has a lot of those. Mr. Pibb plus Red Vines is equals crazy delicious is a thing that I think about almost any time I enter a convenience store of any kind. That thought pops into my head. It's eternal. I mean, anytime I do movie trivia, anytime Nuvi is happening, I think about we answered so fast it was scary.
I love the MapQuest drop in this that really dates it. I also feel like to the point that Lou made about Santana DVX and how that like is just like, hey, what if we made up a song about the universal experience of seeing a weird thing in the grocery store with your friend and just like riffing on that for eternity? What if we did a whole song about like doing like a pretty mundane activity with your friend on a weekend, in this case a movie, and just like turning it in, like schemifying it and turning it into like a whole adventure? Like I feel like this really captures that Lonely Island thing of like, it does feel like friends riffing, but it feels like an inside joke that you're in on.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I think this song, like, compared to the other ones, I think you could probably put like Yorma or Keeve in the Parnell spot and it would still work, but like it not as well, because I do think the mundanity, like Parnell is able to sell what he's rapping in a way that like even Keeve and Yorma could not.
Yes.
And
He just has so much of a suburban dad energy that he brings to this one that really sells it. Like he really is meant to be in a puffer vest in a lawn, and that's perfect.
Unlike them, the joke is a little bit that he is the one rapping this, as opposed to the Lonely Island, where it doesn't feel like, isn't it funny that these guys are doing this, you know? But in general, yeah, I think the whole premise of this song, I've talked before about songs that I really sincerely love. Not that I don't sincerely love this song, but like, I think the example I cited with Future in particular is that he has the ability to brag about things that I don't think are brags out of context, but when the way he says them is so cool that they be like the way he says he had all the sodas at the gas station, that he bought all the sodas there, like that isn't cool, but the way he said it, I was like, I want to buy all the sodas at the gas station. And in the same way, this song is like, what if you did a bragging rap song, but about the kind of things that these people in New York do, and like Magnolia Cupcakes and all of that stuff. That is, it's definitely dated in some ways, but in a beautiful way. And
it's like a frozen wine. This song is to steal a line from Macaulay Culkin talking about the movie Hackers from 1995. This song is like it's a frozen wine. You know, it's just so perfectly captures what it was like to be alive in New York City in December 2005.
Also predicted the existence of Hamilton as a concept, because they did a fake rap lyric about Aaron Burr and dropping Hamilton. So like they just, by the way, okay, here's your entire career, Lin-Manuel. Go take this.
God, it's Lazy Sunday. It's so
also
good.
R.I.P. Matthew Perry.
R.I.P. Matthew Perry.
Pour one out.
Oh my God. But that does bring us to the first proper interlude on the album, Normal Guy, which is a really it's a real patience testing thing on the album, and which is good. I do think that you need to show contempt for your audience, and this is the Lonely Island showing contempt for their audience. Of Yorma has a very stupid character that he's made up, and he wants to put it on the album. And the song is also another Santana Champagne name drop.
I do like that the interludes and like short tracks on this album really highlight that on almost any rap album, these skits are a punishment, but in most cases that's informal. And on a Lonely Island album, they're just like, you know how sometimes there's a skit on an album that you like really want to skip because it's intentionally like great, and like they did it on purpose.
Yes. No, this one is like this skit birthed Connor O'Malley in many ways in my heart. This skit birthed his "Who Are You? I'm Normal" guy thing that my friends and I will send each other in full constantly. And also this is my internal monologue whenever I am hanging out with my two like Gen X cis guy friends. This is what I feel I sound like in my heart. And for that, it does have a special place in my heart, but it is also just so painful. God bless.
Especially the suicide threats when you feel like you're getting off a very bad vibe.
And then ending it with the award for best comedy sketch goes to Lonely Island. Perfect.
So good.
Perfect ending. Not much to say, but of course brings us to Boombox featuring Julian Casablancas, and Boombox is the song that I have developed more of a late appreciation for in the preparation for this episode. Of one that like because it came out so late in the cycle. Like this came out basically as they were already dropping stuff that would end up on Turtleneck and Chain, so it was sort of bizarre this got a video so late in the game, and because of that I feel like it has not had as strong of an impact as like Your Jizz on Your Pants, I'm on a Boat.
I don't know, this one's huge.
It is big. It is big. And I think in recent years, especially as like people are like, damn, Julian Casablancas is fucking cool. And this is here's the thing. Here are three facts that you need to know about this song, okay? Number one, okay, is that a boombox can change the world, okay? A boombox can change the world. But number two, a boombox is not a toy, all right? It is not a toy, And, and number 3, you got to know your limits with a boombox. Okay. You have to know your limits with a boombox. Those are the 3 facts that you need to know. I feel like that also just the type of song this is not one that's in more my wheelhouse. So I will pass it off to you and then laugh at certain lines because I do think this contains some of the best lines they've ever written just from, I believe, the 3rd chorus of, as of course,
Yeah.
again, look, it was a rainbow coalition of dancing. Everybody was wearing fingerless gloves. Whoa, I saw a Spanish guy doing the
Unironically,
Bartman.
that is how it felt to be in Brooklyn the night that Zoran won the mayoral election.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
So it was beautiful that this is like one of the like first episodes they put out after he won the election. Like it's beautiful. It's like poetry and rhymes.
I think there was something really special about being a like 5th grader who was getting into the Lonely Island and the Strokes at the same time. So for me, this was like, holy shit, all of the coolest, most taste-making, culturally impactful people that I'm aware of are doing this. And so it was very formative. Also, the way that Andy Samberg pronounces boiled goose in the final verse.
Yeah,
the 3rd time.
Yes.
So
sounds like
good.
he's getting all of his intestines pulled out through his throat. It rocks.
I
think of it every time.
I like the full version of the song that exists on the album because there's one extra verse that is not in the sketch, but I also think the cut does illustrate something beautiful about the Lonely Island, which is the songs get funnier the more like connective plot setup tissue you cut out of them and the faster they escalate. Because like the escalation of Boiled Goose being peddled on the street makes more sense when you've had 2 beats of the Boiled Goose first, but the escalation from the boiled goose is at the posh country club to there are street vendors peddling the boiled goose. It makes less sense, and yet it's funnier that way. And I think in general, like just how quickly they escalate the songs is always really a crucial part of it. They don't overstay their welcome.
Mm-hmm. But there was a line that we were talking about, Jackie, before we started recording that is one of the funniest lines because it's so wrong on so many levels, and that is the Big Apple where people never dance.
Yes, I the way I put it is that like instead of it being so smart that you have to like slow down and listen back, it's like so stupid that you actually have to like put your brain on like 0.5 speed in order to process the joke that's being made. Like, but it's also it's just great. I love as someone who is famous for going to cities and calling them by the wrong nickname. I also like saying things like the Big Apple where people never dance. Don't put it in the newspaper that they dance.
And I think the 3rd verse is the funniest one beyond the boiled goose line of, again, Big Apple where people never dance, spirits go down while profits expand, the cops or the dealers, who's got the juice? Like, what the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, it's like this song takes place again in like the Warriors universe, like
I also think that this is again to the point that like how our podcast and the way that we all think about music is a little bit shaped by these guys. This is 100% a whatever music makes the people come together core song. Like that is what they are parodying here, and that's what makes this really good. Is that it's always really funny when there's a song that's like about songs are so powerful, whatever. But then to like actually make it this like a literal, they say a cautionary tale is so stupid,
but
and so great.
But here's the issue: he didn't. Again, it's the turbo bass. If he didn't turn up the turbo bass, the old people wouldn't be fucking like rabbits, and it wouldn't be disgusting. If he just kept the boombox as it was, it could have been a beautiful thing. But once again, a boombox is not a toy.
The music was way too powerful.
And again, I think of all the lines to make Julian Casablanca say, everybody started having sex. The music was way too powerful. A bunch of old people fucking like rabbits. It was disgusting to say the least. It's just, it's funny too, because I believe, I mean, again, not to reference the podcast again, but it is relevant to the song. This is one of the only times where the featured artists like rewrote multiple points of the song to fit within like their style much better. Like literally,
he didn't change any of the lyrics. He just, the key change that happens on the chorus is Julian's idea, which is why this song goes as hard as it does. Like I've always thought that, like, before I knew that, I was like, Julian had no business going as hard as someone who doesn't even care that much about the Strokes. This is like dangerously high in my favorite Julian Casablancas song rankings. I think, not that I dislike them, but I think that everything that is appealing about his voice is genuinely on display in this song, and then being used to say very stupid things that now live in my mind rent-free forever, such as everyone is wearing fingerless gloves.
I saw a Spanish guy doing the Bartman. I also think it's so funny because this is like at least 10 years removed, for like probably more like 15 years removed from when the Bartman was like a trend.
Yes.
It's just like, it's not late enough for it to be nostalgic, but it's like too late for it to be relevant. It's perfect. Also, I feel like this song kind of paved the way for like Julian's collaborations with Daft Punk.
It's in my notes, Grace. It's literally in my notes.
This preceded Instant Crush, and like on some level, I don't think Instant Crush would have happened without Boombox. Also,
Grace, I could do you one better on that. Have you heard the thing that got aggregated from the most recent episode of the podcast that Julian Casablancas did like a note on? He sent in a voice note, and basically the note was like this really nice, whatever, long spiel about how great it was to do the song together and whatever he remembered about it. And I'm not exaggerating. The end of it is the most passive aggressive thing I've ever heard, which he goes like, one of the things I really loved was like, you guys really got along and like really lifted each other up when you were making music, and I had never really experienced that before, and like, you guys were like a real band in that way. Literally, like, Julian Casablancas got the idea to make the Voids and go solo because he saw them having a functional human relationship and was like, maybe that would, each other. Maybe that would be nice. And so I love that Boombox is literally responsible for the Voids happening, and also kind of sounds like a The Voids song.
I would have to check the timeline on this, but this also might be partially responsible for Fabrizio from the Strokes dating Kristen Wiig for
I forgot.
Well, they just hung around the show. I mean, like, they casually drop at one point early on in the podcast that Andy still plays soccer with Julian, which is incredible. Like they're just, as New York staples, they just sort of hang around,
I thought you were going to mention that the other fact is that, like, Julian, of course, heard this song and like heard the way his vocals are mixed and was like, wow, like, I sound really good on this song. And then literally like took whoever did the mixing on this album or this song and had him do like some of the mixing and engineering on his solo record like that year. It's just very funny that the Lonely Island is partially responsible for why Phrases of the Young sounds the way that it does. It is beautiful. But what is not beautiful is our next song, which I think my biggest worry, I think, for this series overall is having to come to the realization that, like, some of this stuff has not aged well. And I do think so far, I'm like, most everything on this record has aged very, very well, either just in a like beautiful time capsule way, or just like, yeah, it's just the pop music fundamentals are here. They understand it. This interlude, Shrooms, is the one where it is just like, okay, like when people accuse the Lonely Island of being like LOL, so random humor, this song is not helping that. It is like, it's not good. It's, thank God it's so short.
You just don't need another interlude two songs after Normal Guy. That did not need to happen. I'm in favor of some of the bits of this album that are like too stupid for their own good and are mostly there because they think it's funny to have this song on their major label album. But this one is the one too many, I think. But there's not much to say about it. It's whatever. I think we should move on. We've got a lot still to cover. But yeah,
Yes.
Prunes exists.
And of course, brings us to Like a Boss. And again, this is one that also has potential to age very poorly in that LOL so random humor, but it's still good. It's still really good. The way that the journey this song takes you on is quite
that's
wonderful.
The thing. If they had stopped, this is another good example of what makes it special. Anyone else who would have done this song that had if they had the exact idea and execution, they would have only gotten to the joke that the first like 6 lines of the song gets to, which is to do the Like a Boss song, but about boring work stuff. And because that wouldn't be that funny of a song if taken to its logical conclusion, instead they go to have sex with a fish man, turn into a jet, now I'm dead. Like that is the Lonely Island magic right there, is A to Z to C, back to A to Z again. Like, it's so great. I really, same here. Like this definitely is the one that I think I most associate with the aspects of internet humor that it inspired that I don't like, but also it is a reminder of what makes them different from that. You know?
It's also one of the only songs on the record that's like more or less a direct parody of something. Like for the most part, the rest of it is just again inspired by motifs and just general riffs on what was going on in pop music and hip hop and just the music these guys loved growing up. This is the only one that's like a direct parody of a specific song. But again, taking that, like, what if it was actually about like a corporate boss, and then being like, well, that's maybe funny for like 6 or 7 lines. So let's escalate a little bit, you know. Let's see where we go here. But
I feel like it's a perfect example of that, like the low status character, high status delivery that we've been talking about, where it's like, okay, he's the boss and he's like just giving the most badass delivery of like, okay, like I'm hitting on my employee, I'm getting rejected, I'm calling a sex line and crying, I'm asking them for a refund, I'm like threatening to kill myself, but then I'm too scared to do it. Like, he's just so like 100% serious about it the whole time, and that's what really makes it.
Yes, I also think this does feature one of my absolute favorite Andy Samberg things, which is his crying face.
Yes.
Like, we can all picture it. It's perfect, and it's put to use so well here.
Can also be reutilized as his jizzing in his pants.
Exactly. Yes,
it's versatile.
It's verse. But it's so well used here, and it adds to the low status, high status of it all, of just like he looks the most pathetic while he's rapping all this, and that adds so much.
Yeah, Swallow's sadness being delivered in that delivery is just so great. That's the microcosm of the song. Swallow's sadness.
And I like in the video that he could have picked any cast member of SNL to suck, again, for the suck a dude's dick line. He chose Bill Hader, you know, so shippers.
Famous.
Think about
famously.
That. But I do think that the song, the line that I relate to the most in the song is "Eat some chicken strips." Like, in between all this crazy shit, scoring coke, crashing a car, sucking someone's dick, puking on someone's desk, just in the middle of it, being like, eat some chicken strips, you know, and then immediately after, like, chop my balls off.
Yeah, everyone tag yourself.
Tag yourself. Which line do you most relate to? For me, it's eat some chicken strips. So
eat a giant fish.
I'm gonna say eat a bagel because I do that a lot.
Let's go with chop my balls off for obvious reasons. But
I do love Seth Rogen, like also meeting him with the same seriousness and being like, you chop your balls off and die every day.
Hell yeah. I really, I was listening to the CD version of the album today, which I believe Keeve, I think,
Yeah.
does the Seth Rogen part, because then they reshot it when they did it for the show with Seth Rogen that week. And I think that it made me realize that Seth does add a lot to the sketch in his performance of the intro and the outro, because like it hits better with the way he delivers. You chop your balls off and die, etc.
Mm-hmm. And I do think the outro could potentially like be the thing that sings the song, but because I think again, in the hands of different writers, this would just be like, oh, you're just like repeating the funniest jokes, like, and just making them like just doling the point. But it accentuates the point very well, especially like, you think you said something about sucking your own dick? Nope.
I love that that's the
me.
one thing he denies.
Yeah. He doesn't deny chopping his balls off and dying, but sucking my own dick, oh, that's gay.
I draw the line at sucking my own dick.
Oh, God. It's a beautiful thing, like a boss. But obviously Andy has gotten a lot of shine so far on the album, so it is nice to get to our next song, which is a Keeve and Yorma song, We Like Sports, a sequel song to their song Just Two Guys, which I think is one of the most underrated Lonely Island songs. But
yes,
We Like Sports is packed to the brim of I feel like in sort of an axis of like good sports ball humor, like making fun of people that like sports, it's like this and Kyle Mooney Sporty. Those two things are just beautiful, like some of the only good haha sports ball. Like those are the only two funny things making fun of sports. As someone that famously does not like sports, I'm not gonna just be like, oh, like make fun of people who like sports, because it's lame, it's stupid. Like I am the problem here. But Sporty, this song,
I think that this both work because it's not about sports being lame, it's about them being lame.
Exactly.
Right? Like that's really the crux of it, in the same way that Sporty is about like how weird it is to have someone talk to you about sports exasperatedly when you don't care about it because they're just being annoying in a way that is like context independent. And similarly, like these songs are entirely about like, and the whole thing that makes them so funny is how awkward they are. Especially these ones are funny on their own, but the video, you really need to watch them perform this one.
Yes,
because they do. My favorite thing is that they do like hand signals and gestures that don't correspond with what lyrics they're saying at a given time. Like they don't make sense, and they're like very awkward, I don't know what to do with my hands stuff, and it brings me so much joy. I love these three songs that they do in this style.
Now Lou, there's a line in this song that I think we both relate to very much. And sorry to the women in this call, but watching sports with girls is a pain. They don't know the rules. There's no time to explain, which is very funny because of all the people in this call. Jackie is one of the biggest sports nuts that I know.
No, 100%. But that's the thing that they really get at in the song is like the homoeroticism of male sports related friendships, which I think peaks with I'm team captain and I choose you, and I'm the other team captain and I choose you too, which is like not how team captains work, and beautiful and romantic.
So beautiful.
You know?
So I was gonna say that's the line. That line to me, and then specifically from Wimbledon to the Astrodome, is just such random ass references on both of them. It cracks me up every time. But yes, I'm team captain and I choose you too. It's beautiful. It's like The Bachelor.
As I said, I don't want to get too Sociology 100 with this episode and this series in general. These are silly comedy songs. But also, I do think that like there is a particular kind of man that is captured in all of their songs that we see more and more these days. And it's exemplified by, we're real men and we like sports. If you say we're not, then we'll see you in court. like just the lameness of both being like so insecure and so braggadocious at the same time, and how that's just everything we experience. I mean, Tim Robinson is like an even more heightened version of this, is both like being so afraid of being called out, but then the moment you get called out, you're like, what? I'm not doing something weird. You're weird. You're the weird one.
Yeah, I would
like
put
that.
Like every Connor O'Malley character in that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a
Totally.
link in the chain. This is not all the way there, and they're the real like bards of the internet, man. But like this is we're on the path there, I think.
Mm-hmm. But I think the lines before the ones you mentioned, Jackie, these ones I didn't really pick up on until I listened to the pod of I drink whiskey because I like the taste. You think it's better, but I think it's great. I also drink whiskey and we smoke cigars. Don't believe me? Smell our cars. It's just it's so beautiful. It's just
I also
such a picture.
Yes, I feel like this one is such a relates to the missing link of Inside SoCal in all of this, which to me is the most beautiful overlooked post Lonely Island thing. And I think their deadpan delivery of this song really makes it a precursor to that for me in a way that I cannot help but love.
I love the outro where they're running out of words for like a ball, like or like ways to say like give me the ball, like toss me the pig spin, now feed me the rock, now give me the rock. It really feels really spiritually good. In line with one of my favorite Andy Samberg SNL sketches where he plays like a Make-A-Wish kid who gets to be in like the announcer's box at a game.
Oh yeah.
And the only expression he knows is move the chains.
That one's great.
It's so good. And I also I love that they use the phrase cunt hole.
Yes. Awesome. Like I said,
I love knowing that apparently one of the first times Andy Samberg and Joanna Newsom ever met, someone introduced them and she went, "Oh, you're Steve the Cunt."
That's love right there, folks. That's love.
Oh my God. But again, We Like Sports is beautiful, and this is not the last that we'll hear from the two guys.
The two normal guys.
Two normal guys. But that does bring us to another song. This one, I think of all the songs on this album where I'm like, man, I really wish this got a video. I do wish that Dream Girl got a video. Dream Girl featuring Norah Jones. This is one that on the album that I think I've grown the most appreciation for in the past month, of just these guys have all these jokes, and this is just, they're just stacking jokes up one by one. It's not the best song on the album, but in terms of the comedy writing, it is maybe the best comedy writing on the album of how much can we just keep escalating this thing with the Dream Girl. And having Norah Jones sing some of these things is incredible. But also, again, nice to hear all the boys going back to back of, okay, Dream Girl, like, okay, like, and also the fact that they immediately just give up the game. And the thing that they're very good at is that other comedians maybe would build to the thing a little more. They just give up the game right away and just they just keep escalating on it by being like, all right, Dream Girl, you're the only one for me. You have this beautiful Norah Jones hook. And immediately, Dream Girl, you amaze me, all dressed in paisley. Love how not one, but both eyes are lazy. Just immediately, just, all right, this is what the song is, I guess.
Yeah, this song is great because not only does the first bit escalate really quickly, but there is an entire parallel second bit, which is that increasingly, as the song goes along, it stops being about the Dream Girl and starts being about Chex Mix and how great Chex Mix is.
Yeah.
And that is just the touch that no one would come up with, you know? That's,
hold on.
Hold
on, to go further back and forth, immediately like this following song is brought to you by Chex Mix. We're talking about great Yorma-isms. The immediate first actual lines in the song, some dude once said that love is a many funny things, is such a beautiful Yormism. It's
ancient
just
proverb for sure.
It is, I think, like Yorma, I think it's like, this is definitely like where the Tim Robinson isms sort of like, you start to see some origin points that Tim Robinson also has a beautiful way of mangling the English language in just the, like, just to mangle it in just the right amount of ways where it's not entirely gibberish, but it does mean go, wait, what did he just say? Like, it is beautiful.
I also do think that even though you are correct that like there are several Lonely Island songs that we wish either had a video or a sketch for them, I do like that this one didn't, because it allows the Dream Girl to be abstract in my mind, like the monster from Annihilation, you know, like
yes.
Like all of the descriptions are like contradictory. I cannot picture this woman. I love that aspect of the song too. That it like not only does she sound like gnarly, but also like it doesn't make any sense.
Like thick thighs, no waist, not a care in the world. Like what? But she also has thick skin, strong nose, like a rhinoceros. Like what?
Exactly. My favorite, as you're saying, like comedy rating, best line on the song is definitely "Straight dripping in turquoise, my Santa Fe queen, one short leg, you got the Santa Fe lean." That's poetry.
That was the line in my notes that I really wanted to highlight. Also, is that beautiful Keith line of Santa Fe lean. It's a thing that you're supposed to know. Again, many things on this record where it's like, again, Santana DVX, the Santa Fe lean, like these are things you know, right, guys? Like these are famous
also,
things.
In the same vein of lyrics that are intentionally wrong, your teeth so clean, could have sworn you were British is similar to the Big Apple where people never dance.
Oh God, so many good lines on this. Lou and Grace, are there any other lines before we get to the Chex Mix part that
I just
you wanna
love the
highlight?
Chet Smith so much, but I do love "Girl, how'd you get those mouse traps glued to your neck?" It's just so evocative.
I think you got your cell phone ring set to Sex in the City. You like a hot bowl of grits, only way more gritty is so fucking good. Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going.
This is just a love song about Sarah Squirm. They were just ahead of the time.
I was literally about to
Just
say,
like me.
I do believe that somewhere at this time, like a teenage Sarah Squirm was watching this and like being born.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I also love that finally the flip switches with Nora Jones. Obviously, you have the great, I like that, tucking to your shoe like it's your friend. I like that, yelling at the walls and make pretend. You said you're going to stab me in my sleep, but you won't. It's just, and then last week, again, in Nora Jones' beautiful voice, last week I thought I saw you on the street. Turned out it was a bag of trash. Just a big old bag of trash. I thought you looked like a bag of trash. And then
incredible stuff.
And then eventually you get to verse 3 where you're like, wait a second, why did they mention this song was sponsored by Chex Mix? Then it just becomes a song about Chex Mix.
And the whole way through, Nora Jones is just giving 110%.
She's so good on the song.
With it. It's
Chex Mix, you're the snack for me. You're the only one I'll ever buy or eat. And again, put another fact on the board. Chex Mix, 60% less fat than potato chips. TM. All right, remember that. True fact stated.
Just to continue to highlight the Yorma isms, I think another undeniably written by Yorma line, Chex Mix number one snack food in the land. It's the cereal taste that you eat with your hand. That just take that in for a second. Just really, really savor that like a wine that you're swishing around. It's a cereal taste.
Like a Santana Champ, perhaps?
It's almost exactly the same cadence as one of my favorite lines from I Ran So Far, which did not make it on this record for sample reasons. But the line in I Ran So Far where we could take a trip to the animal zoo and laugh at all the funny things the animals do. Intentionally bad rhymes like food in the land that you eat with your hand. Like, it's just great.
Oh God! Again, one of the things from listening to this album for the first time, I had not heard this song until the podcast episode they did on Incredibad, and then listening to this over and over again the last like month or so is just like, man, this is a beautifully written song. It is. I don't know if it's the best comedy song on the album per se, but it's certainly up there for me. But
I mean, we're about to get back to some of the main heavy hitters, and I think, going off of that one, which is sort of a deep cut, this one is one that I think has sneakily had an even longer tail, because I think a lot of these have aged not poorly, but just like whatever. They now feel part of their era, whereas I think this song just continues to be more important by the year, and that is, of course, Ross Trent, a song that if you don't quote "me toil part-time at Jock Coldstone Creamery" to yourself, we are not the same. We are different. I have a lot of things I can credit the Lonely Island for, but I've said this before, but I really want to emphasize, there's an alternate universe where I get too into jungle in a weird way and start getting a little patois, and so I don't call myself like a sound girl selector or anything like that because of this song. Like I specifically avoid using patois in any situation because this song taught me that lesson at a young age, and I'm glad that I learned very young that you don't want to be that white person that gets a little too into reggae, even if, like the Lonely Island, you sincerely like the music, which is why this song works, is because they clearly actually like reggae.
I feel like the white guy Rastafarian as like a cultural archetype has kind of died off.
I think so.
You live in California, so maybe
yes,
maybe these guys are still
this is the California job. I swear to God, in general in America, I believe there are like the condition is everyone living in their own version of the past, but there is a part of California where people are still in like the sublime era of life, you know? And so I am biased that like, yes, this is still happening but also I think that even as it comes in different forms, there is something essential that is captured, I think, especially by the punchline of the song, essentially, which is where Andy Samberg gets really quiet as he starts going by the black people at the end of the song. like that punchline is that exists across whatever many different culture vulture sort of things that exist.
I like to think that Roz Trent, even though this song did not exist then, that he's the subject of the Ween song Reggae Junkie Jew. My little headcanon that I have.
Mm-hmm. I had to step out for a second. Did we already say me toil part-time at Jockhold Soul Creamery?
No, that was the first thing I said.
I mean, you have
Literally
to.
the first thing I said.
You have
very
to.
Important.
It is of all the lines on this album, that is the one I think that bounces around my head the most. Is me toil. I again, you could just say that anywhere in the Indie Heads podcast Discord. You're getting at least 6 up points just by saying me toil part-time at Jockhold Soul Creamery. It's just it's not quite the level of a Sheck West Juliet, but it's certainly up there in terms of like immediate validation just by saying it.
Yes, the last week I read a book about Selassie line always gets me, and it's like, again, to the point that these guys do exist. First of all, these guys exist the further you get into the suburbs, the more into the past you go, and the more that you see these guys just fucking everywhere. I know that in my, like, incredibly white suburb growing up, I knew extremely real Ross Trent guys, but also I do still sell the Ross Trent archetype Selassie books at my bookstore constantly. They are out there. They are coming for you. They are trying to do the reading and just fucking it up so bad.
Yeah, that also, again, I think you need the video here. Like of all the songs on the album, I think this one benefits the most from having a video, I would say, because so much of the beauty of the song is seeing the way the lyrics get interpreted, either literally or figuratively. Again, speaking of the last book, I read a book about Selassie I, the fucking shot where he's on the dock reading the book and slaps the book, and it's like, yes, is a beautiful. I've said it's a beautiful thing many times in this episode, but this entire album is a mini beautiful thing.
I have 2 last things I want to kind of highlight that I learned about this song. Really, this episode of the podcast is maybe my favorite because there's a lot of really great, just like they basically show their work and basically say, okay, this line is a reference to this song. This line is taken from this artist who would say whatever, like, and they also talked about how basically this song is the reason why Shirani exists, because Rihanna heard this song, thought it was hilarious because she immediately identified the type of person who she had encountered in the world, but also she could tell immediately that they actually listened to the music that she listens to and weren't just like making references without like that. She could immediately tell they had listened to all of these. Anywho, but that's why Andy Samberg has a youthful glow. Like if you made Rihanna laugh as a young man, you would just be immortal forever. I assume. Like so.
Absolutely.
That's very important. And then also very important is the origin story of this song is that they were at the origin story is that this was Andy Samberg for like 6 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
But also that they were at a show, I think it was like a dance hall artist or something in the Bay Area as children. And they were like sitting on stairs near the venue or in the venue. And some white guy came up to them and said, "Excuse I," and that the fact that that's the one part of the song that wasn't written and just a real thing that happened, but then that they immediately follow that with maybe my other favorite line in the song is Andy Samberg badly singing "Oh Hot Stepper, you do so many dirty crimes." Poetry, incredible stuff. You can't parody this sort of thing because people still do act like this.
Yeah, it's just, again, part of the magic of the song, as you said, is the fact that like Andy Samberg was so close to just actually being Ross Trent. He was just, again, if things went slightly differently in his life, you know,
yes,
he would be.
And
this
as
guy.
I was saying when you stepped away from the mic for a minute, I also could have been this person had I not heard this song before getting really into jungle and dub music and whatever. Like I every day of my life I skirt on the outside edges of being this guy and be careful not to fall in, you know?
God. And I do love in the outro, he's like, okay, this is somehow going to get on SNL. I'm going to sneak in as many more just throw out references, like machine gun references, as many as I can before the song ends. I think of everything on this record that got onto SNL, this is the one that makes me go, how the fuck did they get this to SNL? like so many 100%. Of these like deep cut references, like just there's enough. But also, that plays
it worked on SNL for the reason it's been eternal, is because like people get the joke if they don't get the references, but if they do get the references, it's even funnier. Like that's the sweet spot, you know?
I mean, when I was a child, I left a comment on the YouTube video saying, I don't get this song, but I'll listen as many times as it takes to get it. And I do get Ross Trent now. And
yeah, Matty, that's your hardcore kids be like.
Oh, God.
That is probably how white Rastafarians be like.
Yep. And God, speaking of white people, digging a box.
The song that has an SNL skit in this century launched more Halloween costumes. I don't think so. Iconic.
In the 2000s for sure. I think 2010s you do get fucking David S. Pumpkins, but in the 2000s, yeah, you're
nothing beats the dick in the box. It's iconic. I do think this is probably my least favorite of the three Justin Timberlake collaborations.
Agreed.
But also it like sets the blueprint and creates the character. It's you know, it's the blueprint. You kind of need it in order to have the variations, but also I think that the other ones are just funny in like a deeper way, whereas this is. But you understand why this was as huge as it was when it was. Like this was revolutionary, and this was actually, I think, the specific moment that famous people being involved in the sketches becomes like standardized, because people wanted to be game in the way that Justin Timberlake was game, because it undeniably like was huge for his career.
He was the cool. I mean, at this point, he is the coolest guy in the world
while being the coolest guy in the world. Exactly. Yeah.
And because again, you need this original sin to get Mother Lover. You know, like you need this to set a blueprint, and then you can get. And also you can tell, like, especially knowing the history of like the making of this song and then the short, is like you can tell it came together at the last fucking minute, like down to the wire. Like, okay, we have this thing that we know that we love, this early 90s R&B, but like what do we do? And then inspiration strikes, and they very quickly put this together.
Came together at the last minute, much like the last minute gift of
exactly
the dick in a box.
Of course. But even then, it is still like, in terms of the songcraft of like, it is such an accurate representation of, again, that early 90s like Boys to Men R&B type shit. Like it is a wonderful tribute to that era of music. And again, Justin Timberlake giving the performance of a fucking lifetime on this song. Of all the people on this album giving it their all, he might be giving it the most all, especially when you get to the outro, where it's like every single holiday at Dick in the Box, parents' house, grocery store, just singing his little white ass off on this
Backstage at
song.
the CMAs is so good because it just comes out of nowhere.
It's like the CMA. He's like, what? Which, of course, is something that would come true later on from a Lonely Island song where one of their characters would go backstage at the CMAs, but that is probably for the next episode of this series. But
I also think, going back to the thing we were talking about with Jizz in My Pants, like this is the like high status, low status thing, or like also the thing of them like immediately turning it and like victim blaming essentially the way that they do in Jizz in My Pants. Like I love the meta bit of this song where they're like, not gonna get you a diamond ring, that sort of gift on me. The way that they are like gaslighting you mid-song to be like, this is a really good and nice gift for us to get you, actually, rather than like getting you my dick in a box is actually more considerate than getting you a diamond ring. Actually, it's beautiful stuff.
But I do want to briefly pull up them performing the song live at Madison Square Garden, which is famous because Andy lost his in-ear monitors right before he went up on stage, and you can tell.
I got something real important to give you. So
Oh yeah, I remember this.
and listen. Girl, you know we've been together such a long, long time. To lay it on the line.
Well, Valentine's is coming, and my heart is open wide. Gonna give you something so you know what's on my mind.
What's on my mind? A gift real special. So take off the top.
He sounds so bad, dude. He sounds so bad.
Not gonna get you a dime.
Andy singing badly is one of the funniest things in the entire world. It's always funny.
I almost wish. I mean, we may do an episode about like the songs that don't make the records, because I do want to
Yeah.
talk about Best Look in the World at some point of
For sure.
perfect bad Andy singing.
Special girl. It's my dick in a box.
My dick in a box, babe.
All right, we're getting
Yeah.
toward the back run. We got to keep
Yeah, we
going.
gotta keep it moving. But just wanted to make
Um,
sure that if in case you've never heard that, you need to hear how fucking awful he sounds on that song.
The last stretch of this record, I think they spread the hits out pretty well, but I think this last stretch is really like its own blank check section of the record.
Mm-hmm.
And that starts, of course, with The Old Saloon, which I had the thought today, this is just a 100 Gex B-side.
1,000%.
Yes.
1,000%.
Yes.
Like, this is a most wanted person in the United States, but oh my god, it's stupid.
I love it so much. I watched
Fantastic.
McCabe and Mrs. Miller this afternoon, which is like perfect classic old saloon scene. So I was totally primed to just be like the way it descends into incomprehension so quickly. So good.
Just all the fucking Yorma ad libs, the
sound effects.
the
Yes,
sound effects,
yes.
the way that the Yorma ad libs are so fucking loud in the mix, like just perfectly loud in the mix for maximum like effect of just making you laugh at how fucking stupid it is. And the fact that you literally hear Keeve laughing at some point in the song, like he's laughing his way through the delivery. Like they got the beat and they're like, well, it kind of sounds like an old West thing, so we'll just do the dumbest fucking thing in the world. And
On my horse, you betcha on my horse. That's the thing in these old West times. Everybody enjoys a good horse ride.
oh god.
I'm
I'm
the bartender.
but I'm also the mayor.
So just put that in your pipe and smoke it. It's perfect.
God. The whiskey is warm and it tastes like piss. Oh no! Mustache smells like piss. And then the fucking outro. It's Tiny Tim. It's almost Christmas. It's just
Yeah, this song "Straight Into Punch You in the Jeans" is when we're talking about like shaping our senses of humor. Like this stuff is exactly the kind of stuff that will make me cry laughing. as an
Can I
adult
just say that
woman.
upon revisiting and listening to this entire album front to back, the transitions on it are really smooth.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
Yes.
the sequencing is great.
it is one of the things
Just
of this record.
Song to song.
Everything, it flows so smoothly. It's
Yeah.
insane that like this record has it figured out compared to like so many other like rap albums that come out now, or like pop albums, where it's like, do you guys not understand like pacing or any of this shit, like how to like put these songs all together in one? How did the Lonely Island figure it out, and you guys can't do this? Their stupid comedy record where, again, the next song after the Old Saloon is just a song about punching people in the jeans. That's it.
yeah. I think this last section is like not as perfectly paced as the rest of it, but I also think that it gets through the record so quickly that by the time you're in the like last stretch of it, you're like, oh wow, I'm already almost at the end. So you're not like feeling the weirdness. But when you really think about like the transition from Punch You in the Jeans to Space Olympics, it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What album is this?
Mm-hmm.
But let's get to the first one of those, because I've been waiting to talk about Punch You in the Jeans for weeks now. This song is so important. I love that this song, like I said earlier, it's like very Jurassic 5, very backpack rapper core, but then
I mean,
like,
literally produced by DJ Newmark of Jurassic 5.
yes, exactly. But then taking a premise that already is kind of stupid and stretching it so thin, just thinner and thinner and thinner, and it goes from being not funny to not funny anymore to the funniest thing you've ever heard in your entire life. Like that's the beauty. That's the magic.
Gonna put my knuckles up against the seams. They can be on your legs or on the clothesline, but when I see the zipper and cloth, it's go time. I like the image of punching the jeans even if they're not on the person you want to punch in the jeans.
And
there are so many lyrics of this song that are really great, but I think that the thing that makes all of them that much funnier is the part of the chorus, best believe this is not a metaphor. I just love that the whole song is them being like taking a metaphor to its conclusion, and also being like, this is not a metaphor. This is just a song about punching you in the jeans.
God. I mean, also, again, you do, in terms of like the wordplay, you also get, I think you maybe said this earlier in the episode, one of the best wordplays they do, which is gonna revise your Levi's with physical arm, put divots in the rivets with my physical arm. Like, that's just good wordplay, you know?
That's crazy.
And
I think my personal where is it? Yeah. My favorite line in the song is definitely throw in fisticuffs, eat pants like bag lunches, jeans pronounced dead, cause of death, hecka punches.
Yep. It's, again, also famously, this is, I believe, Edgar Wright's favorite Lonely Island song, and
is true, yes.
which is a real ball knower to be like, yeah, that's my favorite Lonely Island song. Like, which I
they're
think
also so good at weaponizing the like what's it called, like Rapper's Delight flow, the like, my name is Bob, I'm here to say.
Yeah.
Like, here's what I'd do if I had 3 wishes: punch your jeans on all 3 counts. It would bring me satisfaction in large amounts. The way Yorma says large amounts and like really hits that shit like he's proud of it.
God.
Poetry. Great.
It's a wonderful song that I believe brings us to what I would say is probably the worst like actual song on the album.
Matty, I so disagree. I love Space Olympics.
I could come around. Here's the thing. It's still good. At the end of the day, it's still good, but it is the one that is like, okay, it's testing the patience a little bit in a way that is not as funny, but it is still good. And of course, that is Space Olympics, which is like, I think the reason why maybe I'm like on the song is the fact that like I am allergic to anything that is somewhat related to Eurovision. Like the Eurovision particles are very strong on this song, and I don't want to
I get that.
I don't want to get them in my mouth sometimes.
Yeah.
But
that's fair. I understand. I think the thing that makes this song, well, first of all, I said previously, Andy Samberg singing poorly is like the funniest thing on planet Earth.
Mhm.
And even though he is like a
Yes.
good singer and is good on this record, the backing vocals of this song, where like especially toward the end, when like in the background he's going like is that alone just like context independent of the entire. It's funny that that's happening in the background of this song specifically, but also just Andy doing that, like singing into autotune poorly, and but just also like belting in a way that he's like making a meal out of it. Is really great.
I just realized that the song is like very clearly like, you know, sort of like his version of like 808s and Heartbreaks Kanye. Like I just realized that.
I especially
Yes.
at the very, like the whole song is basically him doing that, and he came up with a stand-up comedy, like a sketch comedy premise to justify doing it, but then at the very end of the song, he pretends like he hasn't been doing a parody song the whole time and ends with "You do it for the love, ain't my love, and there ain't no woman that could take your spot, my love," and it just fully becomes an 808s and Heartbreak song for the last 2 seconds of the song.
Well, here's the thing, that those are literally lines lifted from "My Love" by Justin Timberlake. They just like
Exactly.
Oh shit! All right, we're just gonna go make fun of our friend Justin real quick. Like, why not?
I also shouted out earlier, like, songs that break the reality of you recorded this song, like, within them. There's none that, like, I've spent as much time over the last few months thinking about as much as this song, that starts out, like, bragging about how great the Space Olympics is going to be, and by the fourth verse of the song, the oxygen has run out and everyone's dying, but, like, how is this a song that's been recorded? You know,
Yeah.
like
Yes,
it's
and
so funny.
Also, in terms of songs that give away the game early on, this one does it with such a delight. And I just also love the part where they're just listing events they've come up with, where it's just space discs, space swords, space luge. Just putting the word space in front of things for events will never not delight me.
But here's the thing: they're all totally canceled. Space disc, totally canceled. Space swords, totally canceled. Space luge is also canceled, and then all other events are pending. It's just the cherry on top is like, even in what I would say is like the worst song of the record, there's still wonderful writing on here of just like, Andy knows exactly how to write a very bad line, like to set up a rhyme scheme and then immediately break the rhyme scheme exactly what needs to be broken for maximum comedic effort. Is, again, there's no one like him. There's no one like Andy Samberg.
I also think that in general, like, in a way that's similar to like a boss, like the beginning of the song, the joke is the mundanity, and then so quickly, like, it goes from every single galactic athlete needs a coded ID badge to I stare death in the face, I know my sins will take me to hell, like 2 minutes later. But then also, like, all of the stuff, like whatever, the athlete's village is on Zargon is a phrase that has lived in my head these last few months, like Zendaya is Michi. Like, it just, it brings me so much joy, Matty. I can't stress this enough. I love this song a lot. It's stupid. It's definitely better as a sketch on the show than it is in the last leg of this album or in this podcast.
Mhm.
But I have a soft spot in my heart for Space Olympics. This is the one that's been like the biggest grower since I've been revisiting their music this year, basically.
Mhm.
Like, this was not one that I really had a lot of like thoughts about, and now You're in the Motherfucking Space Olympics, yeah, like lives in my brain all the time.
Oh God! Any lingering thoughts on Space Olympics before we get to the last two songs on this wonderful record? All right, let's move.
Just me. It's okay. It's fine.
Let's
take
move.
part in a grand tradition.
Let's move to. I mean, obviously, Lazy Sunday is very important. I think, and you're correct, Jackie, that like Timberlake doing "Dick in a Box" was like the Pandora's box of people being like, "Oh my God, these guys are hilarious," and like I can get like cool points by making a song with them. I think again, a key element of that, a good stepping point between, you know, Lazy Sunday and "Dick in a Box" is, of course, Natalie's rap featuring Natalie Portman And this one, of course, is funny because, again, Natalie's also someone that like has a genuine appreciation for this stuff. I mean, literally was like, hey, I have this idea for a song. Maybe like I like I fucking love like Little Kim, and I would just want to do a Little Kim song. And they're like, we can try our best to do that. And so like taking that Little Kim thing and then sort of directly parroting the Eazy-E song, you get one of the filthiest songs I've ever heard in my entire life, maybe. Like even now, I'm like, yeah, this is one of the filthiest fucking songs I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's incredible, and it's
Yeah.
like it in my mind, and this probably again is because we are Zoomers, but it really is to me my earliest example of going on SNL to say something about your image, to say something, to have it be a place of image rehab, or in this case, whatever the exact diametric opposite of image rehab is, thank God. And this is just so much better than everything that came after it in that form. It isn't amazing.
Yeah, like, ooh, celebrity's actually not the good person you think they are. Like this is it peaked here. You can't do any better than I bust in dude's mouth like Gusher's motherfucker, roll up on NBC and smack the shit out Jeff Zucker. Like you can't top
shortly
that.
after this, Taylor Swift tried when she did the T-Pain collab.
Oh God.
I forgot
Remember
about
that?
that fully.
Which was basically just like a rehashing of this, but not as funny.
No, because Taylor Swift was not willing to get as far as Natalie did.
Yeah. It's a little bit like it can only really be done once, and now if anyone else tried to do something like it, the joke would really land flat. But just for that one beautiful time, the fact that Natalie Portman committed to saying all the kids looking up to me can suck my dick on national television is like one of the coolest things a celebrity's ever done. Like, it's not just that she's a white woman doing a really aggro rap song. It's that like that you're on SNL and this is like your audition as a celebrity to like an audience of people that's never seen you before. And within, speaking of things escalating quickly, the second lyric of the first verse is doing 120, getting head while I'm swerving. We should add Chris Parnell to RXK Nephew songs saying things like, are we to believe that you condone driving while intoxicated?
Again, I wish there was more Chris Parnell collaborations they did, because he is, again, plays his role so perfectly on this song of, again, able to do the two sides of aggressive rapping and also like fucking 1980s conservative suburban reporter being like, oh, I can't believe you're saying that, but like in a way that feels especially real. But I do think verse 3, where Parnell's like, well, Natalie, I'm surprised all this from a Harvard graduate. Well, there's a lot you may not know about me, really, such as, and then Natalie gets a nice little pocket saying, when I was in Harvard, I smoked weed every day. I cheated every test and snorted all the yay. I got a deaf posse. You got a bunch of dudes. I'll sit right on your face and take a shit. It's just, it's and then in the video, Andy coming in with one of the worst voices he's ever done on a song. But I say this lovingly, this like what is he doing? And the bridge in the fucking Viking hat, like he's dressed as a Viking for no fucking reason. Just like, oh, I guess you gotta let people know that I'm behind this song, I guess. But does lead to another great line. And as for the drug use, well, I can vouch for that. It's just, again, a perfect Andyism. But Jackie, any other thoughts on Natalie's rap?
I got nothing. It's a good song. Let's wrap things up.
Yeah,
we're at the end of this album. This podcast is like 3 times the length of this album.
This is gonna be like 3 hours long.
We're basically done. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a ton to say about Incredibad, honestly. I do think it, in a way that I was saying with the Tenacious D thing, like it does feel like a little bit more dated than the rest of the song, but I also like that this album does have like an album closer in a way, you know, like, and that it is the origin story of their music, but then also that they like one up Tenacious D, where instead of the song being about getting a deal from the devil to be great at music, it's about
fucked
how
an
they
alien.
got their they ran train on an alien, and that's the end of their first major label record. Really great, you know?
Yeah, it's the most Beastie Boys like song on the album, and it is nice to hear that influence just so clear and out in the open. Like, all right, we're gonna end our album with like our version of a Beastie Boys song again about us all fucking an alien that has 3 different holes that we can all fuck at the same time.
It
One in
definitely
the front, two in the
drags
back.
out a little bit, but I do think, as per usual, a lot of the funniest parts of it aren't so much the premise, but like the little moments of like how funny this is that this is a song. I think best exemplified by the moment where they're like, I say we put this to a vote, all in favor say I, and then it drops right into the next verse. Like stuff like that is just like, it's like not jokes about music, but it's like jokes that are built into the structures that exist in rap songs that are commenting on them while also subverting them. You know, it's like kind of dense when you think about it, but then also, again, it is just as stupid and simple as they made a song about boning an alien
and
that has the lyric, keep pumping away my wife and family, thank you.
that, and also again similar like before the I thing of, man, I'm a virgin, we all are, bet. It's just again
That's exactly the concision of their writing and how quickly they're able to jump like into the premise, you know?
had it locked up like a Chinese finger trap is just again so much beautiful imagery. Like on one end, I do kind of want a video for the song, but also the video that I have in my head is going to be way better than anything they would do like then or now. And
Yes. I watched this one as a MS Paint YouTube video, which I did go back and watch in preparation for this podcast, that has like full 2009, the Microsoft Lyric slideshow font, and ends with a series of dissolving images of the 3 of them on red carpets after the 12-year-old has clearly given up on making the MS Paint video, and that is what this song will be to me forever.
oh god, fucking. And then the alien having wine coolers, like knowing like, yeah, we gotta get your boys tipsy to convince you to do this. It's a again, it is a fantastic outro to the album and a great like fake origin story for the boys. I do love that there is at least 2, if not 3, origin stories they have made up about the band within their music between this and Popstar. Like I love that there's 2 different sides of how this band formed, and it's great. It's a great outro to a great album, and any again, I do have to say once again, this is just a really good album. It is just it's such a beautiful tribute to the music that all these guys love, all these like weird specific things they love, from like their love of just like random reggae and dance hall stuff that like no white person should really be listening to and be that into and be normal. But Andy Samberg is like the first normal white reggae fan pretty much. And then on top of that, obviously like all the love they have for the Bay, and then just knowing how to like get down just the fundamentals of like the pop club boom. It's just, again, I love this album in part because I do love just this era of music that they're pulling from for the most part, but also like again, like these guys know how to write a fucking song. Like they know how to write a hook, and it's just, and also again, it's so funny and so many lines bounce around in my brain all the fucking time. Even now, it's like nearly 20 years later. Like the fact that this album is going to be 20 years old in a very short amount of time is not a thing I'm looking forward to. But for the time being, it's both a beautiful time capsule and also just this timeless artifact that is going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff we're going to talk about in this series as we continue, but I think we've said our piece on this album. I really love it. Matty, we all really love it. I have two things to leave us with before we have last thoughts and wrap up. What happened today was both incredible and bad, and I may have saved my planet, but I'm losing 3 friends. and that's the end of this episode, everyone.
Lou and Grace, any departing thoughts on Incredibad? Things we didn't get to? Any things you want to mention?
Go ahead.
It has a lot of power, and that power has to be wielded wisely, like a boombox.
Much
Exactly.
like a boombox. Not a toy.
Not a toy. Not a toy.
Not a toy.
I'm gonna go drink some Santana champ.
Better ship that shit to me. I want again, we all gotta sip on the Santana DVX. God. So there it is. Incredibad, the first episode of the Lonely Island Discog Breakdown. As at the end of December, myself and Jackie will be back with episode 2 on Turtleneck in Chain. But before this episode fully ends, Lou, Grace, any things you want to plug before we head out?
I feel like this is the side of the internet where I'm known as Grace's best friend and hype man, which I'm very into. In a completely separate realm, I run a small press called Gunhole Press. So if you like small presses, check that out. But yeah, I'm around the music internet being like, Grace Rots, go read this. And I will continue to do that.
Follow Gunkhole Press. Lou and I are actually collaborating on a gift guide for my mostly about music newsletter, Our Band Could Be Your Wife, so stay tuned for that. It's gonna be the only gift guide you need this holiday season. And I'm on a bunch of the year-end lists that'll be coming out. So that too. And also I have been co-hosting friend of the pod, other podcast, Endless Scroll. And we're about to also do some list season stuff. So, yeah.
Been enjoying those episodes a lot.
There we go. We'll have links in the description for all of those things, except for the year-end list. Because if you just want that, just go to albumoftheyear.org, find the aggregator. You can then just name search Grace and you'll be good, and you can post online that you're mad at her for whatever reason.
If you are fans of the episodes of this podcast where it's Matty and like 4 trans women, I highly recommend the episodes of Endless Scroll where it's Grace, Eric, and no Eli and Michael. It's a very similar dynamic, and Miranda, like the three of you and Michael is very similar to like Matty. There's a lot of explaining things to Michael. I really love it.
Yeah, having to explain to the one straight man in the room concepts like a celebrity having chronic Lyme disease vibes.
Exactly.
And what that means.
You got right to, yes, precise. That is why the podcast has been fantastic with you on it, Grace. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. And thank you both, Jackie and Matty, for having us.
Yes, this was so fun. This was my first podcast that was not an episode of Grace and I's terrible radio show, and I had so much fun. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Lou. But that'll do it for this. We'll see y'all in a month with the next episode of the Lonely Island Discog Breakdown. Otherwise, for the Indie Heads podcast, of course, we have some year-end stuff that will be beginning very, very soon. I think we just have like 1 or 2 more regular episodes. We got a bonus episode coming out next week. And then, we get into our year-end stuff, the annual Pod Awards and the 2025 Album of the Year cast. So that is all coming up on the Indie Heads podcast sphere before the return of the 1950s number ones in 2026. So that'll do it for us this time. We will see you all next time. Bye-bye.